Is everybody ready to get started?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
No Mrs. Doubtfire needed. Just
no Mrs.
ready to go.
To roll my prayer dice.
Oh, yeah. Anybody do anything top of session that you need? I don't know if there's anybody but Michaela that has that. Sorry, Svetlana.
It's not great. 2, 2, and 1. But
pretty good. Pretty good.
Oh, what's our new version released?
Did we rest?
You have not, but
we should.
Yeah, I was going to say that can be a thing that happens at the top if you would like.
Do we feel safe resting in a dungeon?
Sure.
I always
the door's
do.
barred. Totally fine.
That's true.
All right. Well, before we get into all that, all the resting and things, at the campfire, the night expands around you, the world growing darker and closer and drawing you nearer to your friends in the warmth of the fire. Is there anything anyone would... Let me try that sentence again. Is there anything anyone would like to say to one another around the campfire before the story continues? It's okay if not. I just like to leave this moment to kind of let people get back into the imagery. I guess I should have... Hold on. I should have brought up that so you guys can get the appropriate imagery of it all. But if there's not, we can get back into it. Just want to make sure.
Nothing to say here.
Okay. All right. With that, you are drawn back into the dark dungeon below Skyland. Some trouble already behind you, and who knows exactly what ahead. You were sent down into this prison by the Herald of the Square, the closest thing to leadership you could find in the once beautiful city of Skyland, now ravaged by something that you're hoping to discover. What were once beautiful buildings as tall as the eye can see now are decimated, leveled almost to the ground at once. With the amount of people who are in Skyland for the 100-year peace celebration, the number who are lost, injured, or worse is almost immeasurable and practically unfathomable. Trying to help wherever you could, the Herald suggested that if any answers were to be found about what was happening and who was responsible, they may be in the dungeon hidden beneath the floating city. You were even told that some of the prisoners kept below were members of the Jagged Knife, a group of bandits you were seeking answers from for other happenings, like the boy you may have rescued from the woods. Opening the first door in the dungeon, you were immediately face to face with a show of violence. As the door swung open, you witnessed a Simia remove his long sword from the chest of a dungeon guard and look to you, asking for a moment to explain. Thankfully, you chose to give it to him, and that's how you met Toko Stormclaw, a warrior who had been held prisoner in the very dungeon you were just beginning to explore. Whatever answers you sought, however, would assuredly not be found at the very entrance of the dimly lit, rock-lined hallways you found yourself in. So devising a plan that involved disguises, fake prisoners, and loosely closed manacles, you pushed forward straight into 2 more guards, and one of them could see that something didn't add up. In deftly defeating them, however, a ricocheted axe from Svetlana caused part of the room to collapse, separating you once again from Toko. He promised to find you before disappearing. On you went down another dark hallway. Svetlana took an arrow to the leg, slowing her momentarily, but each new foe you encountered fell quickly to your blades and spells. Save for one guard who you let live to ask a few questions. He answered them vaguely, saying that anything he told you would surely be the end of the life you had spared for him anyway. And after a terse few moments, you let him go. On his way out, he barricaded the way you had just came, either attempting to trap you in the dungeon or simply assuring that you would not follow him and put a knife in his back. Now, you find yourselves in some sort of office. Against one wall, there's a small desk with paperwork scattered atop it. Another table contains more papers. The room has 4 doors, including the one you came through, and 3 more leading ahead in one form or another. Each door is solid, and each appears locked with no indication of what's on the other side. What would you like to do? Sorry, I should say tater tots. What would you like to do?
Bogha is gonna actually head towards this desk
Okay.
at the back here.
Mm-hmm.
This one.
Okay.
And she's going to rifle through the drawers.
Awesome. You can definitely rifle. Do
Okay.
me a favor, and from you, I'm going to need say an instinct roll.
Not a stinky roll. Cool.
Side note, I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and I keep hearing them call it riffling, and through things, I've never heard that outside of these books.
It sounds dumb. Yeah.
That would annoy me.
Rianth, haven't we had a conversation about this? The difference between riffle and rifle? Because it means two different things. This definitely came up somewhere that I've...
What?
Yeah.
What? No, I don't remember that.
I could have sworn you were there for that rant. Sorry. Anyways. Back on topic. Sorry, just one moment. I realized that I did not... Okay. I did not pull up a table I needed. So what was the result of your roll, Bogha?
I have a 5 with fear.
A 5 with fear. Okay. You find the papers on the top of the desk very easily. And you notice that pretty much the rest of the drawers are empty. Save for a companion case.
A what? Companion case?
It looks like a small bag, and it is, you kind of sling it over your shoulder. It looks like it might be made out of leather or something like leather. It's got a little clasp on it.
Oh.
Outside of that, you may need more time to discover what it is, but feel free to, I mean, if you want to take that time now, that is definitely something we could do, but you might need more time to figure out what exactly is going on.
Are these guards from Skyland that were killed by presumably the Jagged Knife, or did we kill these?
These are guards that you killed.
Okay.
I think you ripped one of them in two.
I just don't...
Specifically Svetlana.
I was going to say, in true Svetlana fashion, she murders now and asks questions later. And that's pretty much how it goes, you know?
And then apparently can't remember that she murdered them, so...
It's a core thing.
While
it's a core
you are discussing, and don't forget you guys discussed taking a short rest, but while you are discussing, you hear thump, 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 a loud knock at this door leading somewhere deeper into the dungeon down here. You hear a loud knock from the other side.
Yriel will approach the door carefully, cautiously, standing a little out of range, and call out, "Who is it?"
You don't hear anything in response. Just another knock. Thump, thump, thump.
Maz walks slowly towards Yriel, behind her, drawing a short sword in preparation. Doesn't say anything, but, you know, sneakily sneaks.
Okay. You hear thump, thump, thump for a third time.
Can we hear anything else otherwise, or sense? I've real big ears, you know. Like,
yeah.
Can I hear anything besides the thumping?
Give me a instinct roll, please.
That's a 14 with fear.
14 with fear. Okay.
Does it sound like tub thumping?
You lean real close to the door.
Wait. Hold on.
Yes. Okay.
Sorry.
You're okay.
What big ears you have is an experience.
Yes,
I'll add
it
2,
is.
so it's 16.
16. All right.
Very nice.
You lean very close, putting your goblin ear up to the door. You listen. It's quiet. And then you hear thump, thump, thump as your ear is on the door. Kind of makes you jump back a little bit because it's so loud.
Oof.
What you learn is just you get the impression that this door is very solidly built and not a lot of sound is getting through outside of the knocking. Whether or not anybody on the other side can hear you is up to you.
I see.
But you cannot hear anyone on the other side other tn the knocking. The knocking comes again. Thump, thump, thump.
What should we do?
Knock back.
If it's locked, we're kind of secured here in this small area. Wait.
Can you knock back with the
If we
same
open it.
sound?
Okay. Go for it.
What rhythm do you knock in?
Was there a rhythm to their knock?
So far, it's just been kind of like a thump, 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 like someone's just kind of pounding on it, not really thinking about rhythm.
Ba ba dook dook dook.
That seems reasonable. Yeah, do that.
Okay, so you knock to the rhythm of the horrible fairy tale that you heard as children about the Babadook, and you get the same knock in return.
While they're investigating the door, I would go up to the other desk and investigate to see if there's anything in the drawers or on the top of the desk. I see a few packages.
Okay.
If there's anything in there.
Yeah, go ahead and give me another instinct roll, please. Promise we're not going to do just instinct rolls today, presumably.
That is that's really good. A 12 and an 11. So 23 with hope.
23 with hope, of course.
Have you tested her dice?
No, I have not.
I think her dice are perfectly fine. We're all good with
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Let me roll to see what you get here. Okay. The paperwork that you see on top of the desk, much like what Bogha saw on top of the other desk, it seems to be very typical jail-related paperwork. It's a lot of incoming and outgoing information about the different prisoners. It's finances. Like, you can tell from looking at this paper how much they spend on a prisoner on average per month for food, that sort of thing. So you do get a lot of information. I don't know that any of it is particularly useful, but you have it. Also oh my goodness. Okay, so inside the drawer, you find a jar, a clear jar, metal screw-on lid, and inside of the jar there is something moving. It seems to be, it's very small, and it seems to be flitting about inside the jar. And while you're looking at it, thump, 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 comes out the door again. Same door.
Do we have a key to this door? Did somebody picked up a key in an earlier desk, right? Is that?
I think I gave it to Bogha.
Who has that key? Come try it on this lock.
I think I gave it to Bogha. So I think they have it.
Bogha just frisks about a person, trying to find this key that was apparently given to her.
Mm-hmm. All right.
She doesn't quite remember.
Kind of pat yourself all around. Your cloak, I assume, has some hidden pockets for different materials and things like that.
Of course.
It, of course, is in the last place you check, but you do find the key. By the way, Svetlana, the thing that you found, we can talk about later, because once again, you're probably going to have to spend some time investigating to see what it is called a corrector sprite. So you can add that to your inventory.
Okay.
Ooh, funky.
So we have a few things that hopefully will make life more fun for you, but we'll get there.
We love fun.
All right, so
After finding this key, Bogha just holds it up triumphantly.
music plays. Dun da da da.
Amazing. Okay. Yriel will take the key from Bogha gently, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And try to fit it in the lock to this door, looking over her shoulder at Maz, indicating that she should be ready. We don't know what we're getting into, but
okay,
it's a very insistent knock.
Yeah, Maz exchanges the glance, remembering times, past adventures of, Yriel just kind of goes in sometimes and knows what Maz would need to do. And again, armed with both short swords, drawn and prepared.
Okay. The key fits easily enough in the lock. You don't have to roll anything. Do you unlock the door?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll unlock the door.
Okay. thump, thump, thump again as the key is turning.
Okay. Is the door open toward us or away from us?
It's a great question. I'm going to say the door opens away from you.
Okay. So I push the door, slowly out away from me.
Okay.
So that whatever's on the other side, has a chance to back up.
Okay.
Whether it's friend or foe, it gives us a little space.
All right. You open the door and you find yourself face to face with your good friend Toko Stormclaw.
Toko.
Toko.
Ceiling collapse. A bit of dust, a whole lot of knocking, but I knew you'd miss me eventually.
Of course.
Hi.
We were so worried.
We definitely had a moment where it did not seem like they were going to open your knocking door.
I was like, cool, there's somebody at the door, but what about the desk?
Sounds homeless. Let's not
We
go
have
that
important
way.
stuff to do. It's fine.
If it wasn't for Yriel, Maz was just going to say, leave it. just don't open it.
That's what was on the desk.
Yeah.
It was a corrector sprite, and I did a little digging, and I think that this little sprite sits in the curve of my ear, and it will whisper helpful advice to me during combat.
Ooh.
So
That sounds
very
bad.
interesting.
And good.
Yeah. Yes, it tickles a little bit.
I got a case.
Nice. I got a bunch of dust.
We're glad that you are okay. Did you get hurt during the cave-in?
No, I was lucky. You'll be pleased to know, though, that I've inspected every square inch of that rubble for you.
Oh,
Repeatedly.
Okay. Did you find anything useful?
No.
Well, I'm just glad that you are safe.
Me too. So what have you been up to?
Killing things, finding things, the usual. Is there anything left in this office that we can investigate? Anything we haven't looked through yet?
You can definitely look around for more. Just a reminder, you guys did want to do a short rest. So if you want to do that while you're in a relatively enclosed place.
Toko, come in and let's lock the door. Toko, come in. And Yriel, could you lock the door again? That seems solid and strong. And we would like to take a moment to, continue searching this room, get caught up, and take a short rest before we continue on our journey. I'm sure you're also weary. Tovolo? What was it?
Toko.
And that way we can all, take a moment to recuperate.
Yeah, for the first time, I'm on the right side of the door. This is cool. I got friends.
Come on.
I'm so excited.
Can you move your token? Your Toko token?
My Toko token.
Tokoan, yep.
It's right here. It's a very dark area, I realize. I don't know if you need to.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
There was some issues with the dynamic lighting where all of a sudden I was looking at it. This is why I texted a couple people to be like, hey, can you help me with something? But everybody was busy.
Mm-hmm.
But basically you guys could see the whole map. So I had to change some things. So unfortunately it's dark now. So sorry. I assume what you guys see is basically your room and then black, right?
Pretty much. There's a few stabby bits out.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but
it's the way walls tend to work in these things. If there's a little crack in the wall you can't get through, but you can see light.
It's think of the walls in the dungeon a lot like a stall door in a public bathroom.
Yep.
Where it's like they probably should have made this without cracks in it so people could see through it, but
and yet.
Yes, and yet. Anyways, okay, so you are now once again locked in this office room, whatever this room happened to have been for. You are now locked in. Toko, one thing that you maybe did not know is the other adventurers decided to let a guard go who didn't really have any good answers. And on the way back out, he barricaded this door behind them. So the way back is currently blocked.
So,
and
only forward.
Are all the doors locked in this room? Can I check this door in front of me? Just kind of give it a very gentle little lock check.
Yeah, it's like
locked.
nothing. Yeah, knob doesn't turn. Handle, I guess, whatever you want to call it, doesn't turn. So yes.
Okay.
And I locked the other door behind us. It just doesn't have a lock symbol.
Okay.
Svetlana would sit in the corner and start by mending the armor around her legs, where the arrow had pierced through.
Okay.
And she will also take her med kit out and start, patching herself up a little bit.
Okay. And Toko, in the materials channel in Discord, there is a link to all of the rules that you can search, and you can actually search for like short rest to see the actions that you can do. If that helps.
It should be under downtime.
Yeah, you can search for either one, but and on short rest you can do 2 actions that includes tend to your wounds if you have any, clear stress if you have any to clear, repair armor, or prepare, and like if you describe how you're preparing, then you can gain a hope.
We're doing a short rest, right? We said.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, you can do these things to other players as well. So if you, I don't know if you are currently injured or anything, Toko, but you could always.
I'm not. I'm fine. Yeah. I pull out this like really clumsy, like set of like armor repair set.
Mm-hmm.
And I hold like a tool upside down, and I ask the party, does anyone need some fixing?
I am good. I just patched myself up.
Maz glances around towards the rest of the party, trying to see if anybody else appears to be wounded. Because I don't know that anybody else actually sustained damage.
Hilo looks a little confused at the offer because he's, not been injured yet.
Did Svetlana?
Does he looks himself like? Does he look damaged?
Hilo looks down and there's a little like smudge, and you kind of, and then just rub the smudge off.
Rubs it off.
Yeah. Okay. So you look good.
Oh, good. All right.
No, anyone?
I think Svetlana took damage, right? In addition to armor.
I did. My 2 actions were to heal myself and to repair the armor. So
can I do 10 to wounds?
Bogha took a little bit of damage.
Bogha.
What was the question?
Yeah.
Toko? I'm sorry. Toko, you had a question?
Prepare yourself to gain hope.
10 to wounds. Does it have to be yourself, or can you do it to others?
You can do these actions to others as well.
Okay.
And you can do the same one twice. We decided.
Yes. House rules if they're not. I think
Svetlana fully healed.
I think Svetlana is back to full health. I think Bogha, the little ribbit, kind of hiding in a cloak, might need some healing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, tell me how you approach a frightened ribbit, and a little bit how you help them. I guess how you help patch them up.
Toko approaches the ribbit, like gets down on one knee to get like on the same height, right? Because they're like shorter. It's a short king. And Toko starts like just kind of trying to speak monkey to the ribbit to see if like he understands like we're both animals. We like I got you.
Okay.
Then he grabs some leaves.
Bogha kind of looks bewildered and kind of stays in the shadows of a cloak.
Fair enough.
And
Toko grabs some leaves and like, and then like puts them in his mouth and then crunches them, and then like spits out a paste, and like points at the paste and then points at the ribbit.
Bogha, would you like to allow this, or should we have Toko roll to see if he can successfully apply this paste?
Bogha is very bewildered by this.
Okay.
She doesn't know what's going on.
In that case, Toko, since you are trying to help a person who is maybe not quite sure if you are trying to help or what's happening, if you could give me an agility roll. You're going to roll your hope and your fear d12s and tell me the total number and which one rolled higher.
That is a d20, not a d12. Hold on.
Maybe that's how Michaela's been doing it. She's just been rolling d20s this whole time.
Oh, boy.
2 d20s? I'm in. Let's go.
Fear.
You rolled 1 with hope and 2 with fear. You got a 3 total?
Mm-hmm.
That's the lowest roll in this entire campaign so far.
Actually,
that's the lowest roll possible, actually.
I may re-roll ones or twos.
Oh, you can re-roll both of them?
Is that including your agility score?
Oh, that's true. You do need to add your agility.
Oh, this is an ability score. Sorry. This is an ability roll.
No, you're okay. You can still use not good enough. That is still. Oh, it does say when you.
Not good enough is for damage.
It does say damage dice. You're right.
Oh, damage. Yeah. Sorry, my bad.
So you do need to add your agility.
I can try kick you off if you want.
Agility is +3.
Okay, so you got a 6 with fear.
Yeah.
You reach out your hand with this paste from your mouth, and you essentially just smear it, starting at Bogha's face, down their body. Due to just the...
so it's kind of a high-pitched squeal.
Due to maybe just the power of good intentions alone, you do manage to clear the health point or the hit point from Bogha, however.
But it does burn a little bit because I'm like
oh.
You see Toko seeing the reaction, the visceral reaction, and then pulling out his notebook and then writing something down and scratching it viciously and puts it back in his little pouch. Okay, fine.
All right. Does anybody else have anything they need to do for their downtime? It looks like Yriel has quite a bit of stress.
Yriel and Pazu retreat to a corner, backs at their walls, and sort of take time to meditate, kind of center themselves. It's been a little bit wild, and they really need to focus in. So this is 2 clearing stress, which it applies to both Yriel and Pazu at the same time.
Okay. That works for me. Sorry, you mean 2 actions clearing stress?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Perfect.
So remove 2 stress from both of us.
Those of you, I probably won't give these reminders for every short rest, but since we're still so early, those of you who are not doing other actions can always do prepare and just tell me what you're doing to prepare for whatever is ahead, and you can gain a hope. And if you do it with each other, you can actually each gain 2 hope. So
I'm not starving for hope. I'm full.
Does anyone else
Nice
need
flex.
anything other than I don't know.
I'm not really seeing anything on people's sheets.
How much stress does Pazu and them have after their clearing of 2?
It looks like, you can answer this if you'd like, Yriel, but it looks like they're both good. Oh, wait, actually, I might need to refresh to see Pazu's. Yriel has 1 stress and Pazu has 0 marked. So
okay. Because I could, instead of you using both of your actions for that, I could use a rousing speech to get rid of your stress. But I don't know if there's anything better.
No, I think we're okay. I
Right,
could
so
do
that-
prepare, but we're already done. So.
Okay. Well, I will go ahead and since no one else seems to need anything, unless someone does, I will prepare for the upcoming battle by looking for more smudge spots and rubbing them out. Now I'm very concerned. I look damaged, adjusting his clothes, trying to make a good presentation for the next fight.
Somebody could help.
Yeah.
Help Hilo check his backside.
Once he can't see.
Yeah.
Help Hilo
And-
rub one out.
Whoa. That escalated quickly.
Yeah, I was
That's what
thinking
you
hope.
said.
Somebody could participate and get hope.
I mean, we were talking about clearing stress.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, is there like any fabric in this room that I can use?
Why don't you look around? Give me a instinct roll. I promise we're gonna
Is
roll.
that the 2 D12s as well?
Yep, you'll
Yeah.
always roll 2d12 unless it's like damage or whatever.
A 1 hope and a 5 fear. So 6 with fear.
Okay, 6 with fear. On top of the desk, like back towards the door where the other adventurers came from, there seems to be some stacks of what looks like animal hides that had been skinned and just kind of stacked. You're not really sure with that roll. You're not really sure why they are there or what they are for, but you do find some essentially hide.
Okay, so that won't work for what I'm trying to do. I'll leave the hide as is.
Okay. What were you trying to do? Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I was trying to build a mask because it's really like dusty and outside
Oh, okay.
because of the whole thing.
Okay.
And I was trying to build I was trying to build 2 masks and give one to someone else.
Okay. So that
they
was
could breathe.
that was attempt at preparation. Does anybody
That's
have anything that they could help with in your packs or anything like that?
Is this part of the short rest?
Yeah, as preparation.
So
Then we
we
could both
already
earn
did.
2 hope.
You can look through your packs to see if you have anything for Toko.
Yriel,
Mhm.
world traveler that she is, carries a nomadic pack,
Okay.
and once per session can reach into the pack and pull something out that's very useful. So she's rifles through it, not to be confused with rifling, and
Or rubbing.
pulls out some soft cloth that, long supple fabric that could be used to craft anything really, and offers it to Toko. Just as Toko starts to reach for it, she pulls it back. It's like, no, let's be gentle with the Bogha. Make sure that they're okay with what you're doing in the future. Okay.
I thought they were okay. It looked like they were fine.
Okay. All right.
There was a lot of good saliva in that in that mending.
Lucky Bogha.
Oh, that hurts. Okay.
That hurts.
So Toko takes the fabric, kind of looks it around, and then like rips it into half, and he builds like a really poorly made sort of like Western cowboy mask. So
Like a handkerchief.
The handkerchief,
Yeah.
exactly. He kind of puts it on, and then he kind of takes the second part of the cloth and kind of looks around, asks muffledly, "Does anyone want one?"
I love it.
It'll help you breathe. I promise, it's much better.
Anybody who has not taken their 2 actions for this downtime can take that, and then because you guys prepared together, you'd both get 2 hope.
I did take both my actions. Sorry.
Me too.
Anybody?
Is Bogha the only one that didn't?
Bogha
and I.
Just Bogha?
Because I only took the 1 action, right?
Yes, you could
Yeah.
you could take that, and Bogha is
Bogha-
Bogha is full
most
of
certainly not taking it.
yeah. Bogha is not going to take that, but also is full of
Oh.
hope. So
Hilo makes a comment about how fashionable it looks with his outfit. Of course, it totally clashes, and wraps it around his face, just for fashion's sake.
Amazing.
all right, both of you take 2 hope, and
Two hope.
I appreciate you all leaning into the moment there. That was fun. That was fun.
Yeah.
Does anybody need to do anything else?
Can I investigate this do not enter mat and
Sure.
kind of see if that, I don't know, if I can hear anything like bad happening behind the door or
All right, so you want to investigate the door, not the mat?
I would probably pick up under the mat and see if there's anything interesting. I don't know.
Okay, you can definitely do that. You don't even need to roll. It's the floor.
Also, we're all just relaxing with a couple corpses on the floor.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Oh, yeah. Did we search the corpses?
As we do. I mean,
I don't think so.
Yeah. Someone needs to do that, probably.
Can Bogha use her actions to search some corpses?
Sure.
Question mark?
Absolutely. I mean, that doesn't need to be your action for a short rest. You guys can do that like on, once the short rest ends. If we are done with short rest things, I will say you take a little bit of time. All the doors around you appear to be sealed. There's no rustling that you can hear. It's not like people are pounding to get in or anything. There's not happening currently. So you take
anymore.
You take the time that you need, and you find that in your moment of rest, you have all of you find a little bit of clarity in focus, I guess. You reprioritize that you are down here to investigate what is happening up above. And that thought in your mind, kind of knowing you have a purpose, removes a little bit of stress and makes any wounds you have feel a little bit better and those sorts of things. And then the moment passes and Svetlana gets up and looks at the floor mat and discovers it's a floor mat. You can take it if you would like it. It is a floor mat. There's no key or anything like that hidden underneath. It is just a floor mat.
I think she is drawn to the fact that it says "do not enter," and immediately wants to rebel and enter whatever the door.
So you'd like to investigate the door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Specifically, I think looking to see if it is trapped at all.
Okay. You're looking for traps. All right.
Yeah.
That's going to be an instinct roll again. I promise. You'll get out of this room at some point, potentially, and do something other than instinct.
Nah.
8 and a 7, so that's 15. Wait, no.
Yeah, that's 15.
Yes,
8 and 7 is 15.
15 with hope.
Okay. Well, take a hope.
Instinct. +1, so 16.
Okay. What you find is much like the door that Yriel inspected. It's a big, solid door. You kind of knock on it a little bit, and it's thick. It feels like it was maybe reinforced to make sure it wasn't broken down or anything like that. Outside of that, appears to be a normal door. It is locked, as Maz found out earlier. You kind of inspect around the door frame, looking for anything that looks like it might be a trap, and nothing stands out.
I think we should go through here.
Yeah, while Svetlana's investigating the door, Maz will, rifle through the corpse that is right on underneath of her.
All right, so we are
paying particular mind to pockets and signs of the Jagged Knife again. Anything else that might be of note,
okay.
Symbolism, etc.
Perfect. Can you roll an instinct? Oh man,
perfect.
I know. I'm sorry.
I got a 9. What do I got? Yeah, 19 with hope.
Okay, that is considerably better than I expected. So, you immediately find a sign of the Jagged Knife underneath the plate armor on this guard's chest, much like all the other people that you've, we'll say, dispatched so far. Much like all of the other ones, this person was clearly Jagged Knife, pretending to be a guard for. Well, I guess you probably wouldn't be able to tell what purpose, but yes, this was Jagged Knife pretending. Going through the pockets. Actually, you know what? Let me backtrack. You find the guard's sword. So you have a short sword. You have the metal armor, which I can look up the stats on metal armor. I don't have it right in front of me, but you find the metal armor, and then going through pockets because you rolled so well, you get, or you find, I guess you don't have to take. Good first roll. You find you find a skeleton key. It is a key with a literal When I say skeleton key, it's a key. You don't know what it's for, but at the head where you'd normally like attach it to a key ring is a skull. There is a skull on it. Looking at it, just looks like a normal key. You don't get the impression that the skeleton indicates that you're going to unlock skeletons with it, for example. It's probably for doors, but you do find a skeleton key.
Okay. I'll take the skeleton key, and I already have 2 short swords, so I will certainly not take any of those. And I do not want to take the armor for right now. I'll leave the armor by the side, and thinking to myself too that I don't want to wear something that was, worn and be burdened by the, the jagged knife,
okay.
Kind of like equipment.
Makes sense. I just realized I've been rolling in one of the 2 loot tables, the one that gives you a lot better stuff. So I'm going to have to think about when I'm making that decision. So you're welcome for your really good loot for a few moments, but it might not all be that good.
Thank you for our fantastic loot, Mr.
Yes.
Master, sir.
Speaking of which, can I put the sprite? Can I equip the sprite? So
I guess when I was saying that we're going to need to spend some time discovering what it was, it didn't necessarily mean you're going to have to spend some downtime actually engaging with it. Okay. So it's okay that you know what it is, but I would say at least right now, kind of imagine it like it is a weapon that you don't know a lot about. So you could use it, but there might be consequences. So think about it that way. I'd like to. I mean, that thing is fairly powerful for getting this early into something. So just maybe at the next long rest, think about using some downtime to get a feel for what this thing is. Okay. If you hadn't used both of your short actions or short rest actions, maybe we could have seen something, but it just
seems like a longer rest thing anyway.
Yeah, I'm thinking about some of these items, like what you found and what Bogha found, is more like a thing that you might have to attune to a little bit. Like you have to spend some time investigating it just to kind of get a feel for it. So, if that makes sense, hopefully that feels fair. I'm open to suggestions on that.
Yeah,
that's fine. That seems fair.
Okay, but next time we do a rest, we can definitely talk about that and how to use those and things like that for both items, the companion case and the corrector sprite.
I have no idea what mine does. I saw some text. I glanced. I just ignored it. I ignored the text.
All right. There is, I guess, what would you like to do now? You do have one more guard guard corpse, I guess. Were you inspecting that one, Bogha? I remember you mentioned something previously.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna rustle through them pouches, pockets, and other bits.
Okay. Why don't you make a instinct roll for me, and we'll go from there.
Oh my goodness! No way. So I got the same roll on both dice.
That's a critical.
The roll was 11 on each dice.
Jeez.
What the Rajanglasha? Okay.
What is going on with you guys? I gotta make things more difficult, I guess.
Don't know.
All right,
I
think so.
To be fair, the difficulty threshold on 2 11s would be,
very
really high.
Not a lot to...
So that would be 13. No, that would be 25, wouldn't it?
25. Okay.
No, 24.
Okay.
Be 24.
Oh boy. All right. Well, I was done for the moment giving you guys loot, but you roll a critical. So you find a bow and arrow, because this was an archer. Find maybe some kind of leather armor. It's lighter than what the guard Maz was wearing, but it's more armor. You find an ID card that says, "Hi, I'm a member of the Jagged Knife," because you rolled so high. That's not true, but you do see very, very clear signs that this was a member of the Jagged Knife. And oh jeez, I don't even know how good it. All right, we'll see what happens. Oh, that's a bad roll. You find in one of the kind of like deep pouches on this archer, you kind of rustling around, you find a vial, and inside the vial is some dark, cloudy liquid. And when you shake it a little bit, there seems to be smoke that is kind of moving around the liquid. It's not necessarily a part of the liquid, but if you shake it, it kind of moves in sync with the liquid. So you have a vial of dark smoke, which you will be able to maybe discover more about at a longer rest.
In sync, you say?
Nope.
Exactly. It's all you've ever wanted. It's all you've ever needed.
Bye.
Yes.
Is there anything special about the leather armor? I already have my own armor, that fits me so well. We've been through a lot, but just thought I'd check.
This armor has someone else's blood on it. That's kind of special. No,
Yriel gives it some consideration for intimidation factor, but decides to stick with what she's got.
It is typical leather armor though, so it is nothing. I mean, you can take it, but it's nothing that you need.
What type of bow is this? Do I know? I imagine not.
I don't know that I know the different types of bows, so we're just going to say a regular bow.
I'm afraid that's not an option.
The shooty kind.
What are
short bow? The long bow?
Oh, sorry. It's a long bow. Yes, sorry. I was trying to pull up the the weapon table, but I have so many pages open.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. I'm gonna store that inside me. Is it just a regular? It just looks like a regular bow, I'm assuming.
Yes. Easy enough to kind of sling over your shoulder or whatever, but yeah, it is. It is simply a, what did I say? Longbow? Did I say longbow or short bow?
Longbow.
Okay, yeah, it is a longbow. All right, now I've got.
She's trying to carry this with her. It's as big as she is.
Sounds like, yeah.
It's a little bit clumsy. It kind of drags on the floor behind you, but it's doable. The string keeps it taut to you.
Yeah, Yriel notices that Bogha looks a little more confident. Well, maybe stand a little taller.
Just due to necessity, because the bow is scraping up against the ground. Perfect. Yeah. So you have a bow. Would you like to take the arrows as well, just for flavor?
Yes. Okay. I'll take the arrows.
Easy enough to do. You've got arrows. Okay. So. Yeah, you investigated the door that Maz is standing near, and that's about it. What would you like to do now, Tater Tots?
I want to go in this door. I don't know about you guys.
I'm thinking we need.
I think it's important.
We would need Yriel to try to unlock the door, because Yriel has the key. I'd assume it might be the same one.
Do it.
Okay, so we have the door. Oh, okay. I'm creating fire. I know everybody's shocked. The door that we came through, the door Toko came through, and the door, the do not enter door, and there's another one. Yep. Oh, okay. I don't see that in my little shadow here.
Yeah.
Okay. This is your choice, Svetlana. The do not enter door.
I think so. I mean, if I had something important, I think I would hide it under do not enter door.
Okay. Well, Yriel pulls the key back out and tries it in the lock of the do not enter door.
Key works just fine.
You again
unlock the door.
Ready for anything? Yriel's pushes the door open a little bit.
Maz draws her short swords.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else readying for a fight as this door opens?
Behind the desk.
I'll go first with my shield.
Okay. Door opens up. You should be able to move through if I did everything correctly.
Yay.
You find yourself
Maz follows behind.
You find yourself in a kind of a, if what you saw earlier was the office for, I guess, the lower paid guards, this would be the office where the head guard was. is your assumption just based on the size of the desk, and there's a nice, like, really fine leather chair behind the desk. There's books behind that chair. Like, this looks like somebody of either importance or wealth used to, or maybe still does, work in this office. So, see some potted plants, which is a little bit weird because so far it has been a very lifeless dungeon. There hasn't been a lot of, like, seeing something green is almost a little bit startling for a moment because you're so far underground. Like, this clearly never gets light. And against one of the walls is a giant metal suit of armor standing up against the wall.
Yriel's really relieved it's an empty suit, not... okay. Maybe Yriel would like to check the suit of armor to make sure it's empty.
Okay, how do you check?
She poked the eyes.
Well, Yriel's pretty short. I'm just going to walk over there and, like, thump it, see if it's hollow.
Easy enough to do. Clang! Kind of echoes like a... You can tell from the sound. There's not a person inside of this suit of armor.
Excellent. We love that.
I like that you said not a person.
There's no body.
Is this a safe?
Is there
back
something
here?
non-corporeal inside this ghost?
Would you like to check?
Yes.
Okay.
Paranoid much?
I don't know how I would go about it, but I'd like to check.
I think if you would like to know, like, one of the easiest ways to tell if there's something inside of it is it's a suit of armor. You could take the head off. You could maybe, like, look in the gaps in between. There's ways you can investigate for sure.
Okay.
So,
But, like, okay, fair enough. I'd like to remove its head.
okay. All right. Go
Have
ahead
to roll for
and
anything?
let's make this I'm going to say this is finesse because you're attempting to carefully remove a metal helmet from a suit of armor.
Okay.
Maz glances on this as it's happening and just says to herself quietly, "They forgot the bear. They forgot the bear."
6 with hope.
6 with hope. Okay. You lift the helmet. By the way, take a hope. Anytime you roll with hope, you take one on your character sheet. You lift the helmet slowly. And as you do, there's kind of a sighing noise.
A what?
Just a sighing noise. You lift the helmet up. You hold it up. And then the entire suit of armor clatters to the ground with a huge crash. There's no one
I'm
inside.
sitting there holding the helmet, looking at the suit of armor.
I will say,
whatever. I tossed the helmet as well.
clang, 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 clang.
Yeah.
All of this made a lot of noise. So just be aware.
Okay. I turn around to the party and I say, what's the worst that can happen, right?
Perfect.
I think that was the worst that could happen.
Should we maybe lock this door again while we investigate more?
This office is a dead end, right? There's no doors out of here.
Looking around, you don't see any other way out. This was
Okay.
Yeah, you essentially you had done your short rest in kind of the
Lobby.
like the assistant office or the secretary office, whatever term you want to use, and then now you're kind of in the boss's office. So
Assistant to the regional manager.
exactly, yes.
Svetlana is looking behind the desk. Is what she looking at a safe? Or is that just part of the map?
Why don't you roll an instinct and we'll figure out what it is.
It's a 15 again with hope. The exact same roll.
Okay.
I promise I rolled it.
He's definitely cheating.
You better go check it out. Just
It looks like just kind of a normal side table next to a desk. If there's anything special about it, you don't know what it is.
Is there anything of note on these papers that are on the desk? Anything interesting? Looking again for symbolism or things related to the Jagged Knife, or Tom or Amara or any of the kind of folks we've encountered along the way.
Great question. It is, I mean, it's easy enough to do, so I'm not going to make you roll to look at a piece of paper that's right in front of you. So you kind of reach over, the papers were facing the other, since you're on the front side of the desk? The back side of the desk?
Front side.
Yeah, the front side of the desk. You kind of have to turn the papers around because they were facing the other side where the person sitting at the desk normally would have been. From the looks of it, what you get the idea that it's just more paperwork for the jail. So this was the desk. The impression you get is this is the desk where the person kind of in charge, maybe the warden, was working. And so he's got things like budgets and like basically the pay for all the employees that worked in the jail, those sorts of things. There are some blueprints that are there. You don't know what they are for, but there are some blueprints that are there. And other than that, the main thing you notice is that a lot of the text is difficult to read because there are large smears of blood on the paper.
Oh, that's always good.
Okay. Maz turns towards Svetlana, says, well, it looks like something, something happened down here at this desk. I'm not sure exactly what. Do you see any drawers or anything else on the other side?
And Svetlana would look for drawers.
Yeah, you can see drawers.
She would rifle through them.
Okay. Ruffle through them.
Riffle.
Got it.
Riffle.
That's only for papers.
Also, she would
and decks.
probably grab the blueprint and put it in her pack.
Okay. Easy enough to do. Well, you're going to have to roll an instinct roll again. I assume it'll be a 15 with hope.
This one is a 6 and a 7 with fear.
Okay, so it's a 13 with fear.
Oh, plus 1.
Okay,
So 14.
14 with fear.
Oh my goodness.
You pull out the drawers, and it's very typical desk wares. We've got pencils, we've got paper to write on, we got more paper full of all kinds of stuff relating to the running of the jail. You don't really find anything too interesting inside the desk other than you do get the idea that apparently up until a certain point, this was a very typical dungeon. This was a place where criminals were held in order to keep them away from people that they may want to harm or steal from or whatever. It's a pretty typical dungeon. It's not like what you guys are experiencing in this dungeon wasn't the norm. You don't know when that changed. Based on the blood that you and Maz kind of see on the blueprints that you grabbed, it may have been fairly recently.
I was going to say I would definitely be looking at the dates on any of the paperwork to try to ascertain the latest date that I see.
Okay. Yeah. The latest date that you see is probably about a week ago. Probably about a week. And I mean, it could be give or take a day because, there's a lot of paper to look through and searching each one for a date. It's not like every piece of paper has a date on it. But yeah, it's at least a week ago. This was a normal.
The blood then is more dried and crusty, not fresh.
Right. Yes, it is. It is older, but I guess you can't tell how old. So,
quick question: the paperwork that had the blotches of blood, would the blood be covering any critical information, or can you just kind of see the ink through it, type of thing?
You can't see through the blood. It's pretty thick. This was not a paper cut that was bleeding on the paper. It was
okay.
It was something pretty intense. You can definitely look through the paperwork to see if there's anything where you want to kind of read around the blood work, if that matters to you. So that one's up to you. But yeah, I mean, the blood's pretty thick in terms of when it's on the papers. So it does make it harder to read.
And I see that there's a bookcase here. Are there any books that stand out to me as not fitting in, something that looks different than the other books might be placed there more recently.
I'm going to make you roll for that one. All the books kind of look like a typical fair. Like you've never seen a bookshelf in a dungeon before, but you know, the books are very like running a jail for dummies, like those types, like not exactly that, because obviously it would be, you know, for running a dungeon for the village idiot or whatever they would go with. But no, like it's looks like typical fare. You don't see any books that stand out, and they all, like, to kind of your more in-depth question, it doesn't look like some of the books were added later or anything like that. They don't, if they were, it's not obvious.
Okay. Yeah, Maz.
Bo was just in the back admiring the plants.
Sorry, what was that, Svetlana?
Oh, I was just saying, I don't see much back here. It looks like the Jagged Knife may have taken over about a week ago, it seems. I don't see any paperwork here more recent than that. And how long ago did the festival start?
It's a great question. I was just thinking that myself as you were talking, that maybe it coincided with the beginning and planning of the 100 years peace. That seems to be roughly in the same timeline.
You are essentially sometime, we'll say about 30 hours away from the opening ceremony of the 100-year peace celebration. So our first session was the very opening ceremony, and then you kind of traveled to the woods, you had a long rest, those sorts of things. So this is essentially the next day. Sometime, you can't really tell exactly what time because you're underground, but it is probably sometime in the afternoon of day 2 of the 100-year peace.
So it happened a little bit before the 100-year peace, is what we're thinking.
Right. It would have happened during the preparation lead-up time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I think that, I mean, Maz sort of looks around and starts walking towards the door, and then kind of like indicates that, you know, she's ready to sort of walk out, but then glances back towards the group to see, you know, if there's anything else that they are, you know, going to, you know, look at or investigate. Kind of feeling like this room seems more or less like a dead end, I guess. That, you know, there's nothing else of note in here.
Yeah, I agree, Maz. Let's go.
And Maz, you know, walks through the door.
As you do, the suit of armor. I'm sorry, just kidding. Never mind.
Maz stubs her toe.
Yeah.
She stubs her toe on the
inevitable betrayal.
Is this a door right next to me right now?
Correct. Yes, there is a door right in front of Maz, which is kind of off to, we'll say, the west, and then you also have a door to the south that
where
you
came from.
Right, you originally found Toko on the other side of.
Honestly, not much interesting going on from where I came. Just in pebbles.
Yeah.
Seeing that we just met Toko, do I trust him? Does he seem like he would be telling the truth?
You can definitely.
Toko looks at you and says, "I healed your frog over there."
She didn't say that out loud.
I was going to say, I didn't say this out loud.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
It's just examining him, trying to, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe
she was saying it with the accent, so I thought she did say it out loud.
It's so I don't
the stink eye.
Fair enough.
Svetlana, why don't you make a instinct roll? And actually, Toko, could you make an instinct roll for me as well?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
14 with hope.
Okay.
5 with fear.
Okay.
Oh my god, buddy. Toko.
Toko, you have no idea.
The cursed dice.
That Svetlana is standing there, kind of hands on the hips, just staring at you, evaluating whether you have no idea that this is happening. Based on, you said 14 with hope. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
You don't. I guess, Toko, the question is, right now in this instance, should Svetlana trust you? It's a decent roll. I'd say an average roll. You don't have to reveal everything, potentially, but are you trustworthy right now?
It's pretty dusty out there. Yeah. Okay. It's kind of a waste of time. Took a little bit of climbing in and out. Some rocks to be moved.
Okay.
You get the idea that Toko is telling the truth at the moment.
Okay.
You didn't roll high enough to learn everything, but you don't get the impression he's lying to you, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Maz readies her swords and glances towards Yriel and kind of nods towards the door towards the west, indicating that, we should be maybe we should move on to this one.
All right. Yriel approaches the store, which is also locked, correct?
Correct.
Tries her key in the door. Does it work?
It does.
Okay. So, we do the thing again where we ready up and push the door
Maz
outward.
is ready.
All right. The door opens up, and Maz, you find yourself looking directly at an archer with a arrow pulled back. You find yourself face to face with an archer who is going to
with me.
Right. Yes. Essentially, you have there's an archer who is just on the other side of the door.
I see it now.
Might have potentially heard some noise from something.
Maybe a giant suit of armor crashing to the ground.
Could be. There's no way to tell. But
almost like maybe. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. You make eye contact just in time for an arrow to fly straight towards you, Maz.
Nice.
Svetlana sees this and dives with her shield in front of Maz.
Okay. All right.
She uses her ability, I am your shield.
Okay.
And it marks a stress to take or to stand in the way and take damage instead.
Okay. I haven't even rolled to see if it was going to hit, but we'll see.
Well, she sees it happening, so she doesn't know,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just shocked she didn't try to throwing an axe already. I mean, that was usually move number one. I mean, that's typically.
Allow me to show you. Oh, well, this.
I can't say it.
Well, this is it a fire?
Is it a 20?
That's a natural 20, my friend.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, that definitely hit.
That's a natural 20 plus a attack modifier of +2. So Maz
it's only fair that he gets some rolls on occasion.
Yeah, you have no idea how badly I was rolling before we started. It was bad. Okay, so Maz is shoved out of the way, rebounds off the wall. Your head kind of like your ears ring a little bit for a second. You don't take any damage, but it definitely startles you. And I
am also going to roll a d6 for my natural calm to see if I take the stress, which I do because I got a 2. So
okay. I just rolled an 8 on a d8. Ooh. So that is the maximum amount of damage that the archer could have done with the longbow. It is 1d8 plus 7. So as you dive in the way, you have your shield up, but you have your shield up a little bit too high. You maybe weren't calculating the difference between your height and Maz's height, and the arrow goes right under the shield and right into your chest. Like I said, that was 15 damage, which you're
reduced by 3 because that's my strength trait.
Sorry, what about your strength?
That I am your shield ability reduces it by 3 because it gotcha. Reduces the damage by a value equal to my strength trait.
Nice.
Okay, perfect. So that is 12 damage, which I believe is in your major threshold. So that'd be 2 HP, unless you would like to reduce it with armor.
I would reduce it with 1 armor slot to 8 because my armor is 4. So from 12 to 8.
Your major, though, because meets it meets it, beats it, right?
Okay, then I'll do 2.
Okay.
Or actually, I will do, I'll use one of my prayer die to make it 7. So I have a 1 on this prayer die, so I'll reduce it to 7.
Perfect.
Nice.
So your shield narrowly misses the arrow. Maybe it even like skims off the shield, but the shield is rounded just so that the arrow still kind of right into your chest. Thankfully, you are wearing your strong breastplate armor, which is gonna, it hurts. You feel the arrow in your skin through the armor, but it could have been a lot worse.
I think I would kind of go, and, stagger back a little bit from the impact.
And just a reminder for combat, just because this is one of Toko's first comments, so there's no initiative. We are always going in what order makes sense for the story. So I think great so far from Svetlana and Maz with like the push out of the way. That was really fun. So anybody who would like to go, I'm actually gonna...
Is it our party's turn or is it your turn?
Yes, it's your turn. That was like a surprise round, but you guys will typically go first. Yeah.
I mean, as Maz kind of gets up, sort of like slightly dazed, she starts to, storm through, the door, slightly wobbly on her, feet towards the archer to close the range.
Okay.
And go in for, to go, honestly, just run right up and take a side swipe right at the archer, seeing the armor there, trying to get in between the, cracks of the armor.
Okay, perfect. So you're slashing with your sword?
Yes, because I got 2 short swords, so I guess it'd be both, right?
Okay. And as you are slashing, maybe as you're leaping in the air, out of the corner of your eye, you do see that this archer is not the only one on the field. So.
Ooh. I do see that now. Oh.
Human shield.
All right. Go ahead and make your attack roll with your swords.
I have it's a 14 with hope.
Okay. 14.
And then what do I add to that though? Because hold on, wait.
I believe you attack with agility. Is that correct?
I don't know. It says short sword plus 4 agility next to me.
Yes. So that's agility, right?
Yeah. So you attack you attack with agility and you get +4 because you have your short sword, and you basically have +3 agility, but you have +1 more because of your short sword.
So then it would be 18 with hope.
18 with hope. Okay.
Yeah, because it's 14 on the dice +4 agility.
All right. That makes sense to me. So take your hope and you leap in, swords held high, slashing down your excellent aim in attempting to slash where maybe where the archer's armor is pretty good. And you do cut the archer. You need to roll 2d8 +4 to determine how much.
These guys are the D8s, right?
Yep.
I rolled a 9, so it'd be a 9 +4, so that would be 13. And then on a successful attack, I've got Body Basher, so I add my strength trait to it as well. Jeez. So that'll be another +2. So is that 15?
15. Okay.
Did I hurt him?
You hear the archer, like he kind of like the bow. He's got a long bow, just like Bogha is long. Sorry, long Bogha. Anyway.
Hey.
Sorry. Nice. Sometimes things pop into my head and I'm like, I need to get this out or we're not moving on. So longbow kind of like the archer doesn't drop it, like he has been trained for battle, but it slips from his hand a bit. Like if he was already in the process of notching the next arrow, you've stopped that process for a moment. And so it's 15, right?
Yeah.
He is hurt. He is looking hurt. but still standing.
Okay. Can I mark a stress to start flying in anticipation of being hit, or is that not a thing I can do?
Yeah, you can do that.
So Maz starts flapping her wings right after she sees the wounds and notices the other folks out of the corner of her eye to kind of flap them and pull herself backwards ever so, slightly. Obviously still in range of everybody, but, trying to,
just get some distance.
Be dodgy.
Just get some distance. Yeah. I get you.
In the meantime, you start hearing behind you like a guttural like roar. Like it's very, very low in the beginning, but it starts like I see the arrow strike, and like in that instant something snaps. My eyes lock into the archers, and the heat in my chest is all I can feel. Without a word, I try to leap forward, like moving fast with arms and legs, faster than I thought possible. And like my muscles burning with every step. I'm like, you want to hurt my friends? Let's see how you feel about that. And then I try to get near the guard. The archer pull the sword and try to give him a real like violent jump from above.
Okay.
Type of like angled.
Okay, so you're kind of doing like, as a simia, you're kind of like maybe jumping off the walls, maybe using like something on the ceiling to swing from. So you're just closing the distance as quickly as you can.
Yeah.
First of all, I love that. Can you make an agility roll first of all to make sure you can get there successfully, and you're going to have advantage on that. So roll a d6. Is that what it is? That's what it is, right? Roll a d6 and add that to your results.
16 with fear, and a d6 rolled a 1, so 17, and agility is +3, so that's 20 with fear.
Okay. Also, I was looking at your character sheet. I did forget about this. I don't know if we've done this before, but every time you roll with fear, you also gain a hope. So,
wait, what?
Okay.
It's on your Call of the Brave. When you roll with fear, you gain a hope.
Nice.
And then read the rest of that because you're probably gonna have some fun with other stuff. Okay, so you make it. I'm not going to make you roll a second time because that was a great roll. That was a great roll, and you did more than enough damage, and you attack with your agility anyway because of your longsword. So that is a successful hit on the archer, and I need you to roll your hit dice, which with your longsword is 2d8 +7.
+7.
So
I rolled an 18.
On a 2d8?
+7.
Oh, I was like, wait a minute.
Don't forget the +7.
Okay. I really would like to think of my own phrase for this. So apologies to the Critical Role people, but how do you want to do this?
Like you don't know you haven't met Toko for very long. So like none of you, like you've all seen the jokey, like funny, clumsy Toko, but this is pure primal instinct. He saw Svetlana get hit by an arrow and he's like, fuck this shit. he jumps from above, he grabs onto like a candle, a bunch of candles on the ceiling or whatever, and then he lets go as he pulls a sword and then jams it on the guy's, like thrusts it on the guy's like this part of the neck here.
Like the throat.
And and once he feels the sword go through the armor and feels it like in flesh, he turns to the guard and says, "Big fucking mistake, pal." Pulls it out and tries to cut as much as he can. Pulling it out with like a splash of blood. Pulling it out with the sword and kind of splashing the wall behind him type of thing.
For the second time in the last few minutes, Toko sends a guard helmet clang, 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 clang across the floor. This time, it just happens to have a guard's head in it. You did roll
and then
with
Toko turns and looks to the other guard. And that's my turn.
Okay. You did, however, roll with fear, which means that it's my turn. The two other archer guards immediately, like, seeing this, like, this has all happened in moments. The door opened, an arrow went flying through the door, and then all of a sudden, a fairy and a simia just come charging through the door and cut off the head of their friend. The head is kind of like at their feet, and like there's just a brief moment where they like look down, look back up, and both of them release their arrows, and each of them are going to use hobbling shot.
Ooh.
They are seeing this. They are well coordinated enough to pick their own targets. So one is going for you, Maz, and one is going for you, Toko. So I will roll the first one, headed for Toko. This one's going to fly just a second sooner. That the guard that saw you behead his friend is going to release just a moment before. So this arrow is going to come flying at you. It's a natural 20 again.
Oh. Ooh.
Give it to me. It's all worth it.
It's a natural 20. He also has plus 2, so that is your evasion 22. Is 14. So a 22 clears your evasion. Hobbling shot means I'm going to mark a stress for this guard, and he is going to deal 2d8 plus 5 physical damage and give you disadvantage on all agility rolls until you clear HP. You have to clear at least an HP slot.
Mm-hmm. So
he has a stress, and I need to roll 2d8.
Plus 5.
Well, that's a 1. So bad start. 4. Okay, so 10 total with 2d8 plus 5. That's awful.
So that's 2 HP. All right.
That would be 2 HP. You can use armor to reduce that if you would like.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yep. So I lose 1 armor slot.
Yep. And then take that damage down to 7 for only 1 HP.
Fantastic.
Yep. Just a reminder, you are going to be at disadvantage on all of your agility rolls until you clear your HP in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the same thing from the second guard headed straight towards Maz. There's no way I'm getting a third natural 20 in a row. So that's that's not good. That's a 13 with the modifier, which I believe still clears your evasion, Maz?
Yeah, I had plus 2, but that only makes it 10.
Okay, so you have an evasion of 10. So this is a hobbling shot, which means assuming you take damage here, you are going to also have disadvantage on your agility rolls until you clear HP.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 18. That's 18 damage for Maz. That's a lot better than I rolled for Toko.
18 damage?
18 damage.
So that's my severe threshold.
That is your severe threshold, which means you would mark 3 HP.
Okay, that would be bad. So if I use an armor slot, that just takes away 6, correct?
Correct.
I'll use 3 armor slots to reduce it to 0. Can I do that?
I also have 2 prayer die with 2 on each of them, so I could potentially use 1 or both of those.
I actually don't know. I might need to clarify the rules on armor slots reducing it down to 0.
Is that a thing?
Reducing damage.
I was wondering that too. That's a strategy.
I mean, it uses your armor slots, right? So it's a limited time thing. But I thought that was kosher.
I think it's possible.
But if it prevents damage, then he doesn't take the disadvantage, right?
It does say when you take damage, you can negate some or all of it by marking one of the open armor slots.
Thank you for helping with the rules. There's a lot of rules to try to remember. Okay, so you do successfully negate all damage. Here's my interesting question, and I'm gonna kind of run this by you guys because I don't know which way this is intended to work. I still successfully hit him, hit Maz. It just hit Maz's armor. And it does say on a success, mark a stress to deal the damage and give the target disadvantage on all agility rolls until they clear at least 1 marked HP. Maz still has a marked HP from a previous attack. Do we think that...
I don't have any HP right now. Because I cleared it on the short rest, but...
You just got hit by Oh, no, you don't. I was looking at... Yeah, okay. Nope, never mind. Okay, forget it. Yes, okay.
Well, I would say that's still a hit. It just doesn't... It's a successful
But then how am I going to clear an
hit.
HP that I don't
Right,
have?
yeah, he doesn't have,
Right,
Maz
that's the
doesn't have
problem.
any HP
It's like it
marks.
glances off armor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Like,
I thought you had an HP marked, which was where I thought the question got interesting. But if you don't have an HP marked already, then yeah, no, it's just
If I had an HP marked, I think that would be the way to go.
okay. That was my thinking as
Yeah.
well, but I don't want it to feel unfair. You're like, I used all my armor slots, and you're still doing this crap to me. So so what you experience is, Maz, you see this arrow fly out and just embed itself into Toko, and Toko kind of winces and looks hurt, but not too hurt. And in that moment, you kind of have like this moment of almost everything seems to slow down just a second. And as the arrow flies towards you, you're flying in the air, you're flapping your wings, you turn and position just so that your armor just happens to catch all of the damage. Like maybe the arrow is like pressing through, like it's in your stomach area, and the arrow is pressing like through the armor, but just touching your skin rather than doing any damage. And that is the end of the archer's turns, and they use their movement to make some more distance between you. Actually, I'm going to do that. They back up as a synchronized unit in order to get some further distance from you. So that's the end of my turn. Play goes back to the players.
Bogha's still in that the warden's room.
Mm-hmm.
Here's commotion and just kind of pops her head out. She sees people getting hit, blood flying places, and she's just like, I'm gonna stay back here. I don't want any part of that.
Alrighty then.
Maz steps in front of Toko, and as she does so, kind of like, slowly lowers herself back down to the ground, blocking off, in front of Toko, who just gotten, hit by the arrow. And as she does so, sort of like stands a little bit taller, a little bit more proud, knowing that she successfully dodged all those, arrows or took no damage from it. And then uses Guardian's Hope to clear out 3 hope in order to get 3 armor slots back.
Wow. Holy cow. Okay. Sure.
That's an amazing ability.
Yeah.
Svetlana would go and hide behind one of the suits of armor that is standing there, and she would use her Mending Touch spell to spend 2 hope and heal a hit point from Toko, so that he would no longer be hobbled by the arrow that was piercing him.
All right. Easy enough to do.
Do you have to roll or?
No, I just marked 2 hope. And it just heals 1 HP for you.
You are no longer at disadvantage on your agility rolls.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Is there like kind of over here on like the side, like right here, are these like things potentially could be used for cover?
Yeah, that's what Svetlana is kind of hiding behind.
Okay. Maz takes a couple further steps forward, not taking cover, but providing cover for the rest of the party. As, they may advance, she looks back towards, sees Hilo and Yriel coming in and motioning them to get behind something so as to not be hit by further arrows.
Okay. Yriel sort of eases through the door, sees the archer down the room, and kind of nimbly rolls across the hall to hide behind some other armor.
Awesome. Okay.
Just trying to get a look at, the what's happening, because we had been still in the other room.
Okay. Is there anything as you roll, you slip just a little bit, and there's just a line of blood from what remains of a guard's body all the way down, kind of down towards the other archers. There's a line of blood that stops at a helmet. So you slip just a little bit, but not enough to like throw off your balance because you're pretty nimble, and you manage to get behind the cover pretty easily.
Maz advances parallel to Yriel.
Yeah, are we moving forward to attack? Because I'm quick. I can get there.
Sorry, I just had to do an effect now that I realized that was a thing. Thank you for introducing me to that, Yriel. Sorry, how do I turn it off? There we go. Sorry.
Go back to the pointer.
Yeah.
So
these kind of moments are going to be incredible in the podcast version of this. Everybody just sitting at home listening to it, going, "What are they talking about?" Anyway,
I was wondering. The Roll20 has a option where you can make your clicks do weird effects, like fire
or blood.
This
or
is
blood.
Or blood.
Not
for example.
Not sponsored by Roll20. Anyway, go ahead.
Not sponsored. Sponsor us.
All right. Still player's turn,
okay.
so it's up to you.
Sure. Yriel decides to advance, calling Pazu to accompany her. Moves. Oh, okay. Now I'm also making blood. Move into melee range with this archer.
Okay.
Maz moves up with Yriel following closely by her side.
Okay.
Svetlana as well.
And
Toko, you can just keep going too. It's all open ended, not like D&D. Just to make sure you know, like it kind of yeah. All right.
Yeah. But I think I've taken like a lot of the spotlight. I want to give it to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We haven't heard from a couple other folks here, so I wanted to create some space.
I'm gonna spend a hope.
Mm-hmm.
Make an attack roll on the archer in front of me.
Okay. Wait, what are you spending a hope for?
I'm sorry, that's Ranger's focus.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
so you were making them your focus. Got it.
That's 9 with fear.
You swing your broadsword down, like it's a moment where you see this small goblin, like for a moment, it's almost like the sword is bigger than she is. Like it's a big sword, and it swings, and the archer just manages to barely sidestep it. The sword maybe cuts down the side of the archer's like the cloth that he's wearing over top of his armor, kind of like cuts off a little bit of that cloth, but does not hit.
Okay. And that was fear. Does it go back to you?
Oh, is that with fear?
Yes.
Oh.
From the tone in his voice, yes. Just in case you didn't hear
it does indeed. I mean, I guess the good news for you is that you also missed, so it was also going to be my turn. So either way, I get a fear and you missed. So happy day. Happy day. The archer who just sidestepped you is going to kind of look at you with really big eyes, like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened, and is going to make a mad dash down and is going to get to this door and is going to start pounding on the door, calling for help. Pounding on the door, calling for help. The other guard, seeing this, realizing there's not much he can do, is also going to take a step back and fire at you, Yriel. Gonna send a shot. This is not going to be a hobbling shot. This is just a regular longbow attack at you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna miss. That is a 9. And in the panic, the archer, I can tell that just looking at your character sheet that missed by a good margin. The archer kind of is ducking back, trying to do a move where he steps back and fires kind of all in one, maybe slips a little bit, maybe stumbling over top of this table that's here, like against this table here. And the arrow is going to...
his friend's head.
Oh, the head's kind of more up here. The head's kind of behind you guys at this point. You've passed the head, unless you kicked it towards him, which is real bleak. But so yeah, the arrow bing, right by you. You feel the wind from it a little bit, but you are safe. And I am out of moves at the moment.
Can Toko go again?
Yeah.
So there was a guard you said that's trying to ask for help. Is that too far for Toko to jump and move towards?
You can try, but it's basically the guard is all the way down here.
Right.
So that is a lot of movement, and you're going to have to roll to make
very, very high. Yeah.
You're going to have to roll, get a pretty good roll to make that happen. But that doesn't mean you can't try. You are an agile creature.
Agility is +3 after all. Let's see.
Otherwise, we can send Pazu.
Is there anything I can use or spend to...
You can use your experiences on any of your rolls. They cost a hope to use, but you add their result to your roll. So
I don't know what that means, sorry.
So like basically your experiences are there to say this is something that I've dealt with in the past before as a character. And if you can make the case to me that one of your experiences would fit to like apply to this role, then you can add the result.
Oh, I see. Okay, so I'm definitely like I am I'm a simia. I'm used to kind of moving fast and grabbing towards whatever will help me move from point A to point B in like smaller, large increments, right? So having grown in like a woodsy forest type of area, this is something that kind of comes natural.
Okay. And which experience are you wanting to use on this one? Which of your 3 experiences there? Nature's Friend, Animal Whisperer, or Survivalism?
I'm trying to find where that is.
Right underneath your hope on your character sheet.
Oh yeah, shit. Nature's Friend.
Nature's Friend?
No, actually, no, Survivalism. Sorry.
Okay, I was gonna say I was gonna have a tough time giving you Nature's Friend because you're very much not in nature. But Survivalism,
yeah.
Survivalism, okay. I'm happy to give you. So spend 1 hope and then add +2 to your results.
Okay. I mean, violent nature maybe, but not nature.
Oh, that's
come on, agility. 2 3s.
No, that's a success.
Okay, so
that's critical.
Critical success.
Yep, you nailed it. You nailed it.
So
you clear stress.
Clear stress. You get the hope back you just spent.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And you easily enough
leap 90 feet across the room.
Right, so fast that you don't even like the rest of the party is still kind of recovering from the arrow that had just whizzed by Yriel. And you're just climbing along the ceiling, bouncing off the walls, and you are there. You're there at the guard.
All right. I grab the guard by the shoulder, turn him around, and smack him against the door.
Okay.
And as I try to look him in the eye, I say, "Yeah, call it your friends. Let's see if they can get here fast enough to save you from what I'm about to do." And with the other hand, I grab my sword and I try to thrust it through his armor, all the way through the door, to try not only to hurt this fucker, but also this way the others come coming in.
Okay. Whew, I thought for a second I was gonna have you roll a presence to see if you could intimidate, but that just sounds like that's another agility. You know what? You rolled a critical hit. We're gonna say that hits. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Yes, sir. That is 17. No, 17 damage.
Okay. I really got to tune some of these things for you guys. You're ridiculous. Toko is angry, and the sword pushes all the way through the guard. Like it's a slow process compared to how fast Toko almost flew across the room. It is a slow process pushing the sword.
He is making it purposefully slow.
Oh, jeez. The sword goes all the way through the guard and just a little bit upward, and you push the sword in to the door. The tip of the sword sticks into the wood. You don't go through the wood. You don't go all the way through the door.
Can I go through the wood? Can I slam, like, without causing more damage to the guard? It's fine, but just for role playing purposes, can I just slam like the hilt of the sword for it to go through the door?
When we say through the door, do you mean like the tip of the sword is through the other side of the door? Or
yes.
Okay. You can try. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need
to roll for that.
Roll strength for that.
Strength.
And this is going to be a pretty high DC because that is a thick door.
Yeah, we've determined the doors are pretty thick here. Yep.
2 5s.
Oh, geez.
Oh!
Sorry.
So
I'm sorry.
The upward thrust of the sword is just like something about your instincts with this area that you're in, and your sword finds exactly the right grain in the wood, and you push it through the guard and upward through the door until you feel it give a little bit. And the guard is currently pinned to the door. Your sword is stuck in the door currently, so you currently do not have access to that sword.
That's fine. But I have a short sword.
That guard is pinned to the door successfully.
That's my turn. I think I've
Oh my god, these rolls. What is with you guys? Here, hold on.
I've done my job here.
I think I can apply a, let's see, do I have a restrained? Here. I'll give him a net. I'll give him a net.
Kind restrained.
A net in roll 20. Perfect.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No notes. Yriel sees Maz moving toward the other archer and orders Pazu to accompany Maz and try to attack the archer over here.
Absolutely possible.
Let's see. That's... That is 18 with hope, so I'm at a hope. That's for the spell cast roll to command them to take action, right?
Yes. No, sorry, that, I mean, if you rolled an 18, that's, in my opinion, that's your attack from your...
Okay.
From like, it doesn't make sense to me to have you roll to command Pazu and then also roll to attack with Pazu. Okay. So I take that as your attack roll, unless I might be doing it wrong, but it just seems silly to have you roll twice in a row.
Well, and it says it's talking about the action tokens, which we're not really using. So yeah, that makes sense to me too. Okay, so
that's at 18. That is absolutely a hit.
18 with hope hits. And then that's claws to, it's 7?
7 damage?
Yeah. Do I add? So when I'm looking at my companion character sheet, it says claws is melee 2d6, and then it says agility +3 next to it.
Agility +3 is for the like attack roll. Same way you add +3 to your attack rolls. So, yeah.
All right. So it's just the 7 damage.
7 damage. Okay.
Yeah.
The Pazu kind of leaps up and with a pretty fierce scratch that you've not seen so far, just claws down the archer's face, and when Pazu's paw is pulled back, there is blood running down the archer's face. And it is still your turn because that was with hope and successful.
I mean, Maz sees the opportunity and seizes upon it by, really just taking a swipe right at the kind of, I guess, like waist area where there should be, a potential open spot in the armor as well. And just, simply slice right away, going for damage while the guard seems to be slightly distracted by being swiped in the face.
Fair enough. Roll for attack.
Ooh. 6 with fear.
Ooh. Maybe it's the response that the archer has to being scratched by, let's be honest, Pazu's kind of adorable, but also fierce. So maybe it's just like the like the response to that, but your swing just narrowly misses the archer. The blade grazes right by, doesn't hit anything but air. You kind of, just due to the momentum of your swing, you're maybe thrown off balance for just a moment because you were swinging so hard to try to cut this guard. But you do miss.
I think I strained my toe again, actually, is really what happened. And then the stumbled slightly upon the swing.
That makes sense.
Yep.
All right. You rolled with fear, so it is now my turn. Pinned to the door. This guard attempts.
Oh, that guard's still alive?
Yeah.
Oh.
Unfortunately for him.
He's not doing great, but he's still alive. He attempts to lift his hand to reach into his quiver to pull out another bow. Gonna attempt to fire, but he realizes that he just does not have the strength to do that. So he lets the hand fall back down, and as it kind of falls, it knocks on this door. Boom, boom, one more time, and that is what he does. He is not able to do much more. He does reach up and kind of feel to see if there's any way that maybe he can remove this sword from his stomach that is pinning him to the door, but it is...
Oh, the stomach.
It is in there.
Oh.
It is in there, and also trying to... You know what? I'm not going to say what happens. I'm going to go ahead and roll. Maybe he'll roll really high, and maybe he'll get that sword back out. He does not. He kind of like he puts like he feels the blade and feels where the sharp parts are, and then moves down to the hilt and kind of like tries to push up against it, but Toko is still leaning his weight onto the sword, keeping it in place. So this guard remains pinned to the door, and that is the end of his turn. The other guard is going to, just due to his proficiency as an archer, is going to, even with the blood maybe kind of like getting into one of his eyes, going to reach back, pull out another arrow, and is going to go for a very close bow attack against Pazu, because that is the last thing that harmed him. Actually, I guess technically the only thing that harmed him so far. That is a 16 against your companion's evasion.
Well, that hits.
And that is a hit. So Pazu takes one, was it stress? Takes one stress, kind of like jumps back at the arrow, is hurt and frightened maybe a little bit, but in general is okay because it's a cat and we danger, All right. And that is my turn. That's who I've got.
Hilo's really annoyed that someone would attack Pazu, and so swings with his locks and loads his crossbow.
Ooh.
Hand crossbow.
Okay.
What it is. Yeah. That is a 12-13 with hope. 13 with hope. The arrow right past the archer's head just misses. Don't forget to take a hope. You still take a hope. But the arrow does fly right by. I mean, honestly, it doesn't really come down to anything more than luck for the archer that the arrow just completely misses. Oh man. Okay. Well, it was worth a shot, so to speak.
And because that is because that is a miss, that does make it my turn again. The same archer that is pinned to the door here is going to attempt once again to free himself from Toko's strength. Toko, could you make it's a pretty good roll. Could you make a strength roll again for me to see if you can hold that sword in? I'm very sorry about the dogs barking, by the way. Hope that's not so good.
6 with hope.
6 with hope.
I actually couldn't hear the dogs barking.
Oh,
I also hear no dogs.
Then never mind. What dogs? Okay, so the guard just finds some strength from somewhere and manages to push the sword all the way back out. And as he does, like a bunch of blood just bubbles out. But he is no longer restrained. He is no longer restrained by being pinned to the door. That is his only action for this turn, because let's be honest, pushing a sword out of your stomach is more than enough action. And the other the other archer is going to see the arrow whiz by his head and immediately notch another one and aim for you, Hilo.
How dare.
It's a 17 to hit.
Well, that's way more than my evasion.
All right, so the arrow is going to hit. I did not say anything about this being hobbling shot. He was hobbling shot requires a little bit more preparation than I think he had in this moment. This was like a immediate reaction. So he is going to fire an arrow back. It is going to hit. Jeez, seriously? That's 9 damage.
Oh. So if I use an armor slot, that takes it down to 6.
That would take it down to 6, which would still...
Which is my minor damage threshold.
Which is your major threshold.
Oh, right. I would need to mark 2 to get it down. 2
slots or some other way of reducing one more. You'd need to get to 5 to reduce it to 1 point.
I can take another armor slot on that.
I was gonna say I have 2 prayer dice with 2 on them, so I can reduce by 4 or by 2.
Just by 2 would be enough for me to mark 1 damage instead of 2.
Yeah. So I'll use one of my prayer dice.
Can you tell me what that looks like in the heat of battle? What are you doing to utilize your faith in core?
I think, I've not been engaging in the battle myself. I'm more hiding in the back, just kind of praying to core to protect my friends. I forgot my accent. And so, yes, I would just be kneeling and just whispering an incantation while Hilo is bracing himself against this arrow. And so it maybe just deflects the arrow a little bit more.
Just enough of a change in the fates in order to reduce the damage a little bit. Okay. Works for me. And that is the end of the guard's turns. Play goes back to the players. Bogha, we haven't heard from you in a little bit. Is there anything you would like to do?
I'm going to sidle out from behind.
Okay.
As all she could do is hear a lot of clanging.
Mm-hmm.
And she is just gonna kind of try to keep her head down and move up a little bit, up to near Svetlana.
Okay, perfect. There is kind of some decorations and things along the wall that you're moving, so you're able to kind of stay a little bit more in the shadows, a little bit more hidden if you stay along that wall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And not really anything to do just now. Just gonna hang back here, assess what's happening.
Okay. Sounds good.
Actually, thinking about it.
Okay.
I'm going to use my minor illusion.
Ooh, okay.
To make a slightly smaller copy of myself.
Okay. That's perfect. You do need to make a spellcast roll for that. So
Indeed, I do. That is a 21 with hope.
Okay.
I think you got it.
You make an incredibly convincing picture of yourself next to you. Is there anything special that you would like to do with this image of you, or is it going to look exactly like yourself?
It's going to look a little bit more menacing.
Okay. Is the minor illusion doing anything, or is it just standing, or what's it doing?
It's just going to stand there for now.
Okay, sounds good. Easy enough to do. I don't know if I know how to do that in Roll20, but just pretend it's there. All right, keep going. I'll figure this out.
I think Svetlana, seeing this guard up front, having hit both Pazu and Hilo with an arrow, sees him as the biggest threat, and she would take out her axe and throw it, kind of like boomeranging in the air to slice him and then come back to her.
Okay. Very doable.
Oh, that's double sixes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So
Those axes, I tell you.
+3.
You don't need to. I mean, it's a critical success if you roll double, so you don't need to add your modifier to it.
Okay.
Take a hope, clear stress, and tell me how much damage it is.
It is 2d10 plus 4 magical damage.
Perfect.
That's a 10.
Huh.
And that's a 1. So 11 plus 4, so 15 damage. So it's kind of swirling in the air to hit this guard right here.
Okay. Why don't you tell me how he dies?
So she is angry. She's been trying to stay back and make sure her friends are safe, but this guy, he's damaged multiple of her friends at this point, so she's very angry and she chucks it as hard as she can, spinning in the air. It's kind of glowing as it spins, and it just slices right on the front of his jugular and then comes back to her. For the moment, people see him and they're like, oh, it didn't actually hit him. And then you just see spurts of blood just kind of coming out. And he just falls to his knees and then falls forward.
I gotta say, until Daggerheart,
I didn't know that she was a murderous psychopath.
Yes, this level of violence from Michaela.
For sure.
I do want to say, outside of the game, I have to spend time before every session convincing Michaela that, like, no, it's okay to be a little stabby in a game. But then we get into the game, and then you all say Michaela's a murderous psychopath, and then we repeat the cycle for next session. So
I'm like, everyone thinks I'm so evil.
No. Evil is not the right word. We like this because it helps us out. You see?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then she gets the axe back, and she just wipes it a little bit on her thing, and then puts it back into her little holder on her back.
okay, I don't know, I'd put it away in the middle of battle, but that's your choice.
I mean, she has easy access to it.
Easy access, get it? Access.
Finger guns. Ayo. Okay.
Finger guns.
That's great.
Michaela was doing finger guns, and if there's going to be a podcast, people need to
That's
know.
true.
So finger guns. Anyway.
That's true. Finger gun.
All right. You guys are still up?
As a side note, I thought you put a little beard on my
Yeah.
on my clone.
I didn't really know what symbol meant minor illusion, so I just picked one.
I can't actually.
If
I
it's
can't
weird,
actually
wouldn't that be an adult illusion?
Either.
Hey.
Terrible.
Toko, what are you doing? Quit playing with your food. You got that or not?
I think Toko has kind of taken the spotlight one too many times, and I want to give other people some space to come in and kick ass.
This guy is standing in front of Toko, kind of holding his stomach, little spurts of blood maybe squirting through his fingers.
Squirt.
Yeah, it's
Stop it, Rand.
He's just squirting all over Toko.
Stop.
Like a super soaker. Anyway,
Stop.
Oh, oh no.
What would you like to do?
I mean,
Now's a good time to question this person while we have him stuck here to the.
Yeah, are we hearing anybody approaching as this archer was pounding on the door trying to get help?
If they decide to approach, they'll see the bloody hole of where a sword used to be on their side of the door, right? Like
Fair.
The doors are
would they
very
know?
thick. You don't.
You don't
You
sense
don't hear
anything,
anything,
right?
but that doesn't mean
Okay.
anything.
Okay.
Also, he's not still pinned to the door. To be clear, he did break out of that.
Oh.
Right.
But
Right.
he's standing there, very hurt.
Okay, Yriel will move over here and poke him.
Okay, just you're stabbing him.
Yes.
Okay, just wanted.
That's totally what I said.
I thought she meant finger poke.
Yeah, I didn't know which one you meant. I was trying to clarify.
Yeah. And Pazu approaches with me.
Okay.
As Pazu does, because we're a team.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a 19 with hope.
Okay. Yeah. Roll for damage.
And oh. Well, that's 4 damage.
All right. Tell me how you finish him off.
Oh no, that was enough.
I mean,
Poor guy.
yeah.
I mean, what I want you to picture is he was just pinned to a door,
Right.
shoved the sword out. He's standing there holding it, watching all of you circle. He's kind of looking around, and then Yriel just walks up and goes,
Point.
That is almost exactly how it goes. Just a little boop with the sharp sword.
like on his
Just
nose.
No point in prolonging this. It's fast. It's over. He's down.
Sure is. He is no longer of this world. For a moment, kind of look around, listen. It's quiet. You don't hear anything.
What a great time for a bio break.
Perfect time for a bio break. Good call.
Now we got to read the ad break. You got to read the ad break right now.
I have nothing to read.
Oh, we're doing the ad break? Yeah. So this is brought to you by Casper. Casper mattresses. You like sleeping? I don't know. I don't have anything.
You like sleeping? Oh, it's so good.
Okay, so as Yriel pokes her sword into the final archer, and he crumples to the ground, lifeless. You notice that it's quiet. It is maybe peaceful is not the right word, but it is. For a moment, there does not appear to be any danger. You find yourselves in what looks to be probably the guard quarters. You may not have noticed this earlier in the flurry of combat. You were all dashing around, but there are some beds off to the sides. In the center, there is a table with some food left on it. There's some plates and dishes and those sorts of things. This is apparently the place where the guards you assume that this is where the guards who worked in this prison would stay while working.
Is there anything yummy on the table?
What'd you say?
Anything vegan?
Anything vegan?
Anything vegan.
May
Yeah.
I eat the bread?
You may eat the bread.
Can we tell if these are normal guards or like do these people belong here?
First of all, Bogha, you successfully consume the bread.
Feel whole.
You take one hope because it's pretty tasty bread. honestly.
Fantastic. I'm overflowing in hope.
Perfect. I mean, I just going by my experiences having bread. I'm always a little bit more hopeful afterwards.
Yeah.
Yriel, you wanted to know if these were like normal, like if these were guards who would normally be in the prison. Is that what you're looking for? Or if these are more of the guards that you have been encountering?
Correct.
Can Maz kind of shout out towards Yriel? Or are you talking out loud or are you talking to like GM? Yriel.
It could be out loud. Like, can
say,
we go?
Well, because then Maz looks over to Yriel and kind of says, you check that one and I'll check this one up here. And then Maz looks over towards Hilo. Says, Hilo, can you go check the one by the door? Let's see what we can learn about each one of these guards.
Hilo's mechanical brows quirk upward and then frown back down a little bit as he sees the state of the one he gets to deal with. But just nods and moves that direction.
Just a reminder, Hilo, his head is here and his body is here. Let that be your, like, they're separated by like 30 feet. So let that be part of your guide for how you investigate.
It's okay if you want to just kick the head back down there by the body, though.
I guess I could just pick up the head and bring it back, right? And then investigate them both together.
Perfect.
Could if you want to touch a disembodied head.
The other option was
Hilo doesn't seem to have squeamishes about that particular part of it.
Is this a group action?
Investigation?
No.
No.
That was the goal.
Oh, okay. I mean, let's still do it as a group action just because they're kind of fun. But everybody roll instinct for me. Everybody roll instinct. Because
everybody who's in participating.
Oh, wait.
Yes.
Not
everybody who is participating. Roll that. Which one of you would like to be the leader in investigating these? Maz, Hilo, or Yriel?
I thought Yriel was the one who kicked that off,
Okay.
but
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I didn't know if you wanted to decide or if you wanted me to decide, but yes, if you'd like the first person, Yriel, you're in charge. What did you roll?
Yriel rolled a 5 with fear.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh.
Okay. Maz?
A 9 with hope.
Okay. Hilo.
23
If only somebody with
fear.
only somebody with some instinct had helped us.
I
have 0 instinct. I just rolled a little bit.
Okay, I just wanted to say, where were these rolls during combat? Also, Michaela, you were way too far from the mic. I'm sorry. You're so much quieter than
I rolled
everybody
double
else.
7s.
Double 7s. Okay.
But I'm not really helping, so.
It is not difficult to, I mean, we're fortunate that this is looking for a jagged knife symbol on a piece of clothing is about as easy as it can be. So as you're investigating, Hilo, you find it very easily on the guard that you're searching. I picture Hilo kind of like taking the body and the head and like trying to reassemble them almost like a, like that doesn't fit. So you find it very easily. Yriel, as you are investigating, you bend down and the guy gasps and grabs your arm.
Nope.
And then relaxes and releases just a single dying gasp of a moment. But you find the jagged knife symbol on him. Maz, you find the same thing. These were all still members attempting to disguise themselves as guards.
Maz walks up to Hilo. Is like, yeah, mine was Jagged Knife. How'd you make out with Headless over there?
He just points to the symbol and nods.
I'll say, let's go see what Yriel found.
Hilo, you have a little blood on you now after moving.
Dad burned it. Okay.
While they're doing this, can I search some of the like nightstands? I see a bottle here. Is that alcohol?
Why don't you check it out? Are you gonna take a drink?
I'll do the like sniff test.
Okay.
I mean, it's just like you always quaff the potions. You don't even think about it.
Go ahead and roll instincts for me.
18 with hope.
Okay. Smells like water. Smells like a
I'll
bottle.
take it and put it in my bag.
Smells like a bottle of water. But in searching the nightstand, let me make sure I am pulling from the right things. You do find a kind of a green, or a vial filled with green liquid. You just kind of look at the green liquid, slosh it around. It looks like a normal liquid. You maybe take the top off, give it a smell. It doesn't really smell like anything you recognize.
I try to like just drop just a little bit onto like, I don't know, bed sheet or something just to see if it's corrosive.
Okay. Easy enough to do. It gets the bed sheet wet.
Oh my.
Doesn't appear to be corrosive. Okay.
Actually, before you put it away, you kind of like slosh it around a little bit more, and you're going to have to spend a little bit more time with it to figure out what it was. I was like, maybe we can find somebody in the party who has a high passive knowledge. No, not a single one.
Nope.
None of you.
What I have, it's not high, but I have some, and then I also have an experience related to it.
Okay, if you'd like to if you would like to approach and help maybe identify whatever this potion or tonic may be, you're welcome to do that. I'll have to roll for it though.
Yeah.
Yriel, you're a woman of the world. You seen any liquids like this? It appears to be green, not very viscous. It's not corrosive. I already tested. Have you seen something like this before?
That's a 11 with hope. And 11 with hope. Plus a collective memory, so 14 with hope, as I am thinking back through the stories that my kinfolk tell when we gather trading information and knowledge about things that we see out in the world. Is 14 high enough to spark the memory?
You know what? I like the backstory you gave me for collective memory. So you look at it and it doesn't really ring any bells, and you're about to give up, and then you remember faintly. This was many years ago. You kind of see Svetlana sloshing it a bit, and something in that kind of triggers the memory of waves. And from the memory of waves, you remember being on a boat and hearing a story about a potion that existed that was a green liquid that would kind of calm the mind if you would take it. It would allow you to focus better and to, if you were stressed, remove some of that stress. So kind of turning away, and then last second realizing maybe it's a stamina potion. So you found a stamina potion, Svetlana, and you can use it as a one-time use. You can use it to immediately clear 1 + 1d4 stress.
Does it also calm the stomach?
No, it does the opposite, unfortunately. You're going to have really, really bad indigestion for 4 hours afterwards. It's a green liquid. What are you expecting? No,
until your next short
lime
rest.
flavor, but it's probably sour apple, and that would upset my stomach.
What else do we want to do?
As the party kind of approaches the guy who was I don't know, shish kebabbed against the door.
That was actually his name, Bob.
Was
yeah,
Bob Shiska.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You see like Toko like still And he looks around and he almost like has an aggression, like reaction to the party, and then stops himself and kind of calms his breathing down. And he looks at the door again and says, "All right, heads up. Something doesn't feel right. I can't quite put my paw on it. But whatever is sitting there beyond this door feels like a three-headed fish, and not in a good way. Something unnatural lies beyond."
Like a three-headed fish?
Yes, do you have those where you come from?
I have seen a three-headed fish. They're not that unnatural.
Wait, they're not that natural or not that unnatural?
Not that unnatural.
Well, where I come from, I don't see many of those. We only have one-headed fishes.
Obviously, they see you first.
Obviously.
By the way, Bogha, are you keeping your illusion up this whole time? I don't actually know if you are able to move it. It doesn't technically say that you can. So I don't know.
It doesn't say anything, does it?
No, I would assume if you would want it somewhere else, you would have to cast it again, I think. But I am
maybe
it does not. It just says on a success you create a minor visual illusion no larger than yourself within close range. It's convincing to anyone in far range or further. So it doesn't seem like you have to concentrate to keep it up, but I don't know if it's going to move with you. Was my only point.
I think going with that, we'll just dispel the illusion.
Okay. Easy enough to do.
Lovely.
Toko, what gives you that sense of what's beyond the door?
Just a feeling. Toko says, kind of almost out of breath.
Yriel, can you hear anything beyond the door?
More than a feeling?
Hey!
I knew it was going to happen.
I love it.
Of course,
I wasn't
the
even
bard
thinking
loves
that, but now it's just going in my brain. Now the loop has started.
But
Yes.
that I could help. That would be. Are we trying to roll for it? Are we done here?
If you'd like to try to roll to see if you can hear anything, it's going to be a little bit easier now that there's a bloody hole in the door.
Oh, okay, sure, we'll give it a try.
Okay. Instinct once again.
Oh, I got excited, but it's a 9 and a 6, and 15 with hope.
Wait, you don't have.
I thought it was two of the same lines.
Wow.
You also have a +1, so 16 with hope.
Oh, okay.
What you can hear, pressing your ear to the door, like it's a little bit gross. First of all, because you are pressing your ear to a hole that is kind of smeared with gore. So a little bit of like a squishing sound as you do it.
There's a mix of like blood and stomach acid in there. That's just not right.
So you press your ear and you listen, and everybody around you goes silent because they know that you're attempting to listen. And the next room, like from the sounds that you can hear, just very gentle sounds, sounds like a decently sized room. You don't hear any movement or anything like that, but you do indeed. Yeah, I mean, you hear a room. You don't hear much else at the moment. Maybe the slight crackling of a fire, like for the torches and things that keep the rooms mildly lit, but that's about it.
Pulling away from the door, wiping the back of my hand in my big ear, trying to get the mess off. I relate to the tater tots that I can't really hear anything. There's no movement. I mean, clearly there's something on the other side of the door, but I'm not hearing any movement right away. No shuffling, no armor clanking.
It makes me wonder, the man here was calling for help. Who was he calling to? I suggest we go through it, but I think we need to go through it warily and with our shields drawn.
Like Maz would have learned her lesson? That doesn't seem right.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, it does not.
Maybe
Nope.
I should go first with my shield.
Good plan. Is the door locked?
Yes.
Does my key work?
Give it a try.
Well, if I stick the key in the lock and kind of wiggle it. I'm not sure if it's just a sticky lock on account of how somebody pinned a bloody body to the door.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels difficult to turn, but you kind of put some force behind it. Door opens or unlocks.
I take my shield and I put it like that, and I slowly turn the knob and peek through.
Okay. The door opens to another room. From the looks of your peak, this may have been some type of armory. Right off the bat, you see movement and you jump back a little bit and you realize you saw your own reflection in a mirror.
Amazing. I would totally do that.
Trust me, I've walked up to you enough in the house to know that anything that moves.
I think I would have jumped
why were you
back,
there?
Yeah.
drawn my axe out and just thrown it at the mirror, and it crashed into the mirror.
All right, hold on. Before you decide that, roll to attack the mirror.
That is a, let's see, 14 plus 3, 17 with fear.
All right, the mirror
With fear,
stands
because
on
I
its.
am-
No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, you successfully shatter the mirror, sending glass across the room. Everybody, be careful as you walk, because due to rolling with fear, this is now a little bit of dangerous terrain.
Sorry. I was expecting somebody else. And then I I keep walking forward and I say, "Watch your step." Sorry.
Is everybody wearing footwear? As an aside, is
No.
everybody- Oh no.
Maz does not wear footwear. Maz has like tough feet though, kind of like talons and whatnot though. So I mean, it shouldn't really be an issue for Maz. I wouldn't anticipate.
I don't know that I believe that, Mr. Hey, hurt my toe. I'm sorry, Miss.
Thank you.
I'd also fly over it.
Yes.
All right,
Also,
just
someone
something to
can ride on
consider.
back.
Just something to consider.
Just like to point out, Yriel is not only wearing footwear, they're very stylish with a slight heel, and it matches her outfit perfectly.
Okay, love that.
Nice.
Incredible.
What about Pazu? Same?
Slight heel.
Yeah, slight heel. Matching outfit. Right?
Oh, it's adorable. Sorry, Teach.
Oh. Oh my god.
Oh no.
I almost lost it.
So the mirror is across the way, right? The glass is not in front of the door.
The mirror is, I don't know if you guys can see that ping. It's like once
Yeah.
you go south through the door, the mirror is off to the east. And the glass, I mean, Svetlana chucked that axe. So the glass got some distance. But say walking carefully will probably be, it's not like you're in a combat situation, but just consider the terrain if combat comes up.
Okay. Yriel just, makes her way through the door, not too concerned about the glass, because these are sturdy boots. We've seen some wear and tear. Pazu is so nimble that even though he does not have color coordinated boots, he is able to pick his way through the glass carefully.
Okay. It's interesting watching Pazu. It's almost like watching a dance. The way Pazu doesn't really seem to be focusing on it, but all of Pazu's steps are like super, like they are, despite Pazu not focusing, they're like super well chosen, avoiding all the glass. So you find yourself, those of you who went through the door, you find yourself in kind of like was thought. This looks to be some type of armory, probably the room where any of the guards would collect gear of any kind that they would need. So you do see some heavy breastplate armor on the walls. You see some kind of like metal gauntlets type things. Yeah, you just see a bunch of items. You see shoes. You see what was once a mirror. You see a stack of shields, a stack of swords as well. None of it looks particularly well cared for. Like it doesn't seem like there was a lot of time spent making sure that these things were like kept in battle ready condition. So it's up to you if there's anything that you would like to take or look around, but it's a pretty typical armory in that sense.
Hilo's boots were made for walking, so he comes in and peers about as well.
Okay.
Is there a
I'm going to
doorway
grab
this
2
way?
for plate. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. So to answer your question, Hilo, real quick, there is a doorway off to the east. It's over here.
Okay.
You do see a door. Sorry if the lighting
I thought that's what I was seeing there, but I wasn't sure.
Sorry if the lighting is
Thanks.
making that difficult. Hopefully I can figure that out for next session. Anyway. I was just happy I got the grid right, so it wasn't just 2 of you crammed into a room.
Fair.
All right. True story.
True story. Bogha's going to grab 2 of the plates from the table
Okay.
and just slide along the floor with those under her feet,
That's
making
very,
a loud scraping sound while doing so.
that's very good. Man, that one got me good. If you didn't have full hope, I would be willing to give you one for that, because that's a delightful use of the environment. But
Someone just so you've got shattered glass on a bar top and you're just sliding your mug across it.
it's very like crunchy, and you hear a lot of sounds of all the glass from the mirror breaking underneath Bogha's plate shoes, but your feet seem safe. Toko, are you walking across the glass? What are you swinging? What are you doing? Oh, you're muted right now.
Sorry, the dogs were freaking out earlier.
You're okay.
I've been talking this whole time down. I'm kind of walking around the room, looking at this like mirror suspiciously. Can I tell anything if there's anything weird about it?
I mean, it's tough since Svetlana shattered it.
Well,
it's a little bit tougher, but you can definitely investigate.
All right.
Investigate the kind of the edge of the mirror, which is still intact. Like the axe went straight through the center.
Would that be knowledge?
Yeah, let's go with a knowledge roll, just to do something other than instinct.
As Toko does that, Maz flaps her wings gently to raise up in the air above the glass and work her way into the room.
Okay.
Kind of does it in a graceful fashion.
12 with fear. Okay. You get a faint sense of magic. You get a faint sense of magic from the mirror. It's very possible that at one time there was something about it, but you can't tell what it was. Whether or not it's still in play now that the mirror is shattered.
Can I grab a piece of glass and like wrap it around whatever and put it in my rucksack just in case?
Yeah, absolutely.
We meet a crazy smart wizard later on or whatever.
Love it.
Awesome.
Put that in your equipment. I think you can just add stuff, right?
Yeah, let's see. Equipment. Let's see. Manage. Custom. Broken mirror piece. There.
Toko, what did you find with the glass? Why are you stashing it into your sack?
Something doesn't feel right about this.
Hmm.
And like as you look at Toko, you see him like before he was relaxed and like old giddy and whatever, and now he's kind of shrunk onto himself. He's like tense and he's just kind of shifty. Like this just doesn't feel right, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I am sorry that I shattered the mirror.
Svetlana, could you come over here and would you be able to gain some insight from Core into what this mirror, what purpose it once held, or what's giving Toko that feeling?
I mean, I can try. And I would kneel down and place my hand on the mirror and just like pray, asking Core to reveal to me if there's something strange going on here.
Maz makes her own motion sort of discreetly, thinking in her brain that I don't want anybody to see me doing it, but hoping the same and, really echoing the same sentiment as Svetlana.
Oh, like you're echoing like her religious, like that sort of thing? Is that what you mean? Or just...
Yeah. Not out loud.
Okay.
Discreetly.
Okay. The rest of you didn't hear that?
Nope.
Okay, so go ahead and do you have a spell or an ability that's going to help with this, Svetlana, or is this just a straight roll?
Don't really think so. Yeah, I don't really think so.
Okay.
This is just more me trying to, get story stuff, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is what, instinct you said?
Yeah. Knowledge. Sorry.
Oh, knowledge.
To comprehend something.
10 with hope.
Between...
Would that be could that have been a group roll? Should that have been a group roll?
Maybe.
I don't want to meta it, but I'm like...
You know what? Roll a d6 for me, Maz.
3.
Okay.
Doesn't help much, but...
because of Maz's help, Svetlana, you don't really get the impression of much. Like you can tell, and I should mention Bogha as well. Closer to the mirror, you do get the sense that something is magic about this mirror. So you get the sense in kind of taking a moment and talking to Core, and you feel Maz's presence next to you, Svetlana, and it kind of helps pave the way a little bit more to the idea that while this mirror was unbroken, it would show you more than just what it was reflecting.
Yeah. But Svetlana, this was magic mirror. You just throw axe at it?
I did. I saw a movement and I panicked. It is not very normal for me to feel that panic, but I saw it and I just could not help myself.
What a shame. What a shame.
I'm so sorry. Maybe I can put it back together again, and I start picking up pieces and trying to place them on top of each other.
Well, you're missing a piece already because it's in my pocket.
Yeah, Maz kind of puts her sort of puts a hand down on Svetlana's shakes her head like that's not going to get us anywhere. Good try though.
Did the mirror have a ornamental border around it?
It did have kind of like a frame, I guess. I don't know if a mirror has a frame, right? But
sure, why not?
It did seem to be intricately carved. Looking at it closely, it looks like it's made out of some type of stone. The carving around the mirror, and it looks like whoever carved this put a lot of excellent care into the symbols and shapes and things that you see.
Right.
Do we get the feeling that the magic was in the glass itself or in the border, and that if we put it a new pane of glass, that it would be able to reflect again?
Unfortunately, nobody really rolled high enough to get that much of a feeling.
Okay. And it's too big to carry with us, right?
It is quite big. It is quite big, and you kind of reach for it, and it's pretty heavy. This was not a mirror that was intended to be moved around and like move from place to place. Like once it was here, it was pretty much here. Maybe you shifted a little bit and you even see kind of some grooves in the rock beneath it because of this heavy thing settling there a little bit. So it is possible to take with you, but it's not going to be easy. I mean, I agree. I agree.
Svetlana points to her muscle.
Yriel would like to, she's just kind of wandering around the armory, poking at gear, picking things up and setting them down. Does she sense anything special, any unique items, that are better than the average prison guard's equipment?
Is there any like category of equipment you're looking for? Like, are you looking at the weapons? Are you looking at the armor? Are you looking for whether or not this is like a special chair that's here?
Well, it is the chair closest to the brazier. Pazu and I are warming ourselves here in the corner.
Okay.
I was looking for probably armor.
Okay.
So there's a lot of armor.
Okay. Do me a favor and make yourself an instinct roll.
That's going to be 7 with hope.
7 with hope. Okay. You don't. Yeah, I mean, essentially, what you find is different quality of armors. Like you find some just really like light armor that seems it'll keep you a little bit safe, but also maybe help you movement in combat. You find some really heavy armor that's going to slow you down, but you're maybe going to be able to use it to deflect more damage. You don't really find anything too special outside of that.
Okay. All right.
Back on the mirror thing, would I recognize anything that's depicted on the mirror?
Interesting question. Can you roll for knowledge? Knowledge roll, please.
That is a 13 with fear.
13 with fear. Okay. You catch a little sharp piece of the remainder of the glass. Hurts a little bit. So you gotta be careful investigating it. You do recognize that the carvings in the stone or whatever it happens to be made of, they do seem to be related to magic in some way. It seems to be some type of magic symbols. What they mean, you're not sure.
So it's a kind of magic.
Cool.
Maz approaches the door towards the east and just slowly, very quietly, just checks the handle to determine whether or not the door is locked.
Locked. They keep the doors locked around here a lot because it's a prison.
Yeah. Maz walks back out towards the center of the room, towards Yriel, and then asks her, did you find anything of note, any special weapons or armor over, amongst the wares?
I looked around, but didn't feel or sense anything, beyond the normal supplies. If anybody needed to equip themselves with some basic armor, there's a variety, but there's nothing special, nothing outstanding.
I think there's only one way to go, Yriel, and I'm thinking you know which way that is.
Sit through the door. Next time Bogha offers me a key, I'm going to have to turn that down.
Svetlana would go towards the middle or end of the group this time, feeling the shame of having possibly taken away this magical artifact that we could have used. So she does not want to be first this time.
Before you feel too bad, it also could have killed you, so you don't know.
You don't know.
Deadly magical mirror. Say Maz looks back, just like, Toko, Bogha.
Come.
Beneka.
Dig my key out again and Put it in the lock. Give it an old twist.
You successfully set off. No, just kidding. Unlock the.
All right, we'll push the door open. From the side as I do.
I just wanted to make a door sound effect. It opens.
Everybody looks cautiously. There's no arrows flying immediately.
Nothing seems to happen other than a door opens.
All right.
Hilo goes first because everyone seems a little skittish, so he's like just kind of meander in.
You find yourself in what looks to be some type of passageway. There's a few benches, a few seats, not much else. You're in a hallway.
Yriel sees that there's 2 open paths from here. One straight in the direction they've just come through, and one off to the left.
Okay.
Hilo's feeling
Bogha has to start
first, so he's going to sit in the chair and wait until we decide what to do.
You sit comfortably.
Kicking his little metal feet.
Comfortably? Like these are wooden chairs.
I mean, but they're pretty well, like, for being in a dungeon, they were crafted by someone who understood at least a little bit about what might be called in other regions ergonomics. Like there's a little bit of back support, just kind of, it's the armrests are the right height. It's designed pretty well.
Really, being metal, most cushion doesn't really do a whole lot for Hilo. So this is like nice and supportive, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps him off the ground, and that was what he was looking for in a chair.
Exactly.
Just to narrate a little bit, you find yourself in a hallway that branches off 2 directions. One is, for the sake of this map, what we're going to call north. One is east. Towards the east is where Hilo is currently sitting comfortably in a chair. You might hear small, just sighs of contention, but that might not be the right word. Contentment. There you go.
Contentment. There you go.
If he's really enjoying the chair. But other than that, you find yourself at a crossroads.
Yriel is looking the north pass. Is kind of narrow, and I don't know. It seems like the main one that we entered is a bigger, like, passage going somewhere. Just want to peek down this narrower north hall to see what's down here with Pazu. Just sort of, I'm trying to think of another word before, nimbly, quietly, just scouting ahead. We're not,
Okay, so you'd like to try to stealth down the hallway?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. In order to be super sneaky, I'm going to need a finesse roll.
And Maz, as always, is game for following Pazu. So, stealthily.
Okay, so
I was going to say, is this a group roll since I'm also sort of following?
Are you all going down there?
I don't think we can all be stealthy.
Okay. Well, I think she would have indicated she's going just her. So
I picture hand gestures like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
You're very good at those, Michael.
Thank you.
Which Hilo did not see because he's looking at the other door and keeping watch. So he's just waiting for someone to come through.
Okay. So Maz, are you going along?
Yeah.
Okay. So Yriel, if I could get a stealth roll from you, and then Maz as well. That would be, sorry, not stealth, it's finesse.
And Pazu.
Finesse. Right? Okay.
Yeah, I might need one from Pazu as well.
I got a 14 with fear.
Okay.
I got 14 crits.
You got a crit. Very interesting. Okay, well, because of the crit, you don't need to roll for Pazu. We'll say that finding the path where there's no noise. I was going to say where there's no squeaky floorboards, but you're standing on stone, so that doesn't really make sense.
There's no loose stones.
There's no loose stones. It's you're not like walking into the wall and knocking stuff off or tipping over like giant suits of armor, just to name random things that could happen.
Or, destroying mirrors.
Yes. So none of that is happening, but you manage to just in time, like you hear Maz coming up behind you, and you manage to like hold your hand out and like kind of like stop Maz from bumping into something that was otherwise going to alert what could be alerted if there's something to your presence. So, I mean, good job on the crit, because that could have gone a different way.
Okay. So we're advancing, quietly, carefully, Ly.
Okay.
And is this?
Tuck was just kind of around the wall, just kind of body against the wall and trying to listen very attentively to what's going on.
Okay. You don't hear anything because they're stealthing, but
yeah.
You don't hear anything.
Trying to pay attention.
And that's a good sign, we'll say.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. In this small passage, we've come to another opening. It's not a door. It's not locked. It's kind of weird. And I see that there are people there, so I motion Maz to back up just a little bit. Maybe, we don't want to draw attention to ourselves, and we could signal to the rest of the group that...
Yeah, let me kind of set the stage for what you see as you peek through. So you peer around the corner. I picture it like just your head poking around the corner, pretty low on the wall because you're not a very tall goblin.
Correct.
So you are peering around the corner, and maybe like as you're peering around the corner, your head pokes around the corner, and then Pazu's head pokes around the corner above yours, and then Maz on top of that. So you just got like a little stack of heads around the corner.
Are they in a trench coat?
So inside this room, which, like you said, is not enclosed by a door, it is simply a room. What you see is stacks and stacks of supplies. It's what you assume. You see barrels, you see crates, you see giant like bags, like burlap sacks of things. So your initial impression from just that little peek, you peek in, duck back out. Your initial impression is that this is a storeroom, and you do indeed see people inside.
Quietly, very quietly,
Mm-hmm.
Maz says to Yriel, "We should go back and tell the others what we see."
Agreed. Yeah.
Okay. So Maz starts to slowly and stealthily continue to go back down the hall, avoiding.
Maybe if your rolls had been worse, I would make you roll again to stealth back. But you can get back down fine.
Okay. Right. Psst. There's people.
Peeks around the corner.
And just for the sake of we're all talking into microphones, you get the idea that it's okay to talk at a reasonable volume at this location.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So Yriel, reports back to the group what they saw when they 3-stack head peeked into the storeroom.
Mm-hmm.
That there were multiple people and lots of boxes and supplies. I couldn't tell in this brief glance. We didn't want to linger and catch anybody's eye, so I don't know if they're friendly or no.
My guess is, based on the fact that everyone else we've met is part of the Jagged Knife, they are probably also part of the Jagged Knife.
Probably not.
To recap, our goal here is to find out what is happening above in Skyland. Do we think that those people will help us in that endeavor? Because
almost certainly not.
Yeah, I think we should just leave them and go the other direction. But I think that is up to the group to decide.
I don't leave.
Oh God.
Confrontational Bogha.
But that does leave our rear guard unprotected, should they hear us fighting in the next room.
Or shattering mirrors.
One time!
I mean, let's be honest, Svetlana, everybody has their bear.
I was going to say, I think you've learned from this group that they hold a grudge for a while. So it's going to be the mirror and the bear for the rest of eternity.
Not so much a grudge as a callback. Because it's funny.
That's fair.
I see. Just don't do anything you're not prepared to have brought back up.
Forever.
Oh, that's tough.
And ever.
I say that I agree with Bogha that we could slowly go down the other path to see what's on the other side, or what's to the east, straight ahead.
Don't find what we are looking for, we can always come back.
Yes. How about one of us could stand watch at the intersection in case one of them comes down while others go explore or go find what's towards the east.
Yriel can do that. We have keen senses, big ears, big eyes. We'll just hang out here, kind of tucked against the corner, and keep an eye out in case anybody approaches from the northern passage.
How will you notify us that they are coming? How will we hear you?
If they come and seem threatening, I'm going to yell. What?
Took off to stay behind and cover. I don't like what's going on over there. It doesn't feel right.
You're talking
I
about
stay here
to the east. Doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, anywhere.
Okay.
Toko says, I'll stay here. Stay behind. If I hear anything, I'll whistle.
So is that Yriel and Toko or just Toko?
Happy to stay alone if...
No, we're good. We're good. We're good here. I mean, I didn't think everybody was going far. You're just going to the other side of this room to see what's over there.
Yes, just throw right over here. Not splitting apart, just going down here.
That's what I was worried.
Yeah, I was going to say, this feels really dramatic for just walking down a hallway that you guys are currently standing in, but okay.
I mean, I always
paranoid
recommend
for some
split the
reason.
party, but I know that I was told not to do that before. But
always split the party.
who wants to go sneakily down the other side? Or Hilo already beat me to it.
I'm already moving this way. I don't see anything other than a door, right?
You are correct. I mean, you see another bench, technically, but...
Yeah, I mean, there's just a closed door here.
Is the door locked?
I haven't looked at that.
Hilo, could you...
Is the door locked?
Could you gently check the door?
Door's locked.
Door's locked.
Yes, apparently so.
Maybe we can relieve Yriel of her burden of the key and try this door, because she's been carrying that burden for a while now. Thanks, Bogha.
Alternatively, you have a key with a literal skull attached to it.
That's true. I'll tell you what. Let's bust out my skull key and let's try to put it in the lock and try to give it a little turn.
There doesn't seem
Gently,
to be anyone here.
stealthily,
Bulky.
quietly.
Stealthily with the bones. Yes.
Okay.
Does it turn?
Make a roll. Make a finesse roll, as a matter of fact.
19 with fear.
Turns. Unlocks the door.
Ah! It opened?
I mean, door unlocked?
Unlocked. Okay. Ooh, okay. Hilo, the door's unlocked.
Just as an FYI, you still don't know how your key works. So just be aware.
Okay.
There could be consequences.
Great.
I prefer truth. Can we pick truth instead of consequences?
Had it come up in this situation, I would have let you know how it worked. But it worked. So you're fine.
Okay. Hilo, it's unlocked. Should we open it?
Consensus is we're supposed to go through, open this door and see.
I say, let me kind of quietly, stealthily start to turn the handle, and I'll, open it just a smidge.
Okay.
To start to see if I can both see and or hear anything. Maz also has rather large ears as well. So.
Okay. This door opens towards you. You pull the door open. They don't do a lot of oiling. I just trying to add to the ambiance, really. Door opens up. There's another door.
Wait, what? There's a door behind the door?
Yeah.
Is it an airlock?
There's 2 doors.
I mean,
Is it a cute door?
I feel like, despite joking, Yriel was probably not far off from what is happening here.
Yriel's about to go back and fight an entire storeroom of people all by herself.
Does the door look the same as the door I just opened?
As in, like,
the new door?
Are you asking if it's the same door again? Or, like, are you asking if it's...
Does it appear to me to be a new door, like there's a gap between them?
Yeah, like there is a small, like, it's not like an immediately a door. There is I didn't explain that very well. There's a small room where, yeah, like if you think about like an airlock, like you could send someone through the first door, close the first door before you open the second door situation.
Hilo, should we keep going?
By ourselves?
Good point. Let's go back. let's slowly go. Because I couldn't see inside the room. That's why too.
My bad. Sorry. I wasn't sure what to do when you said you opened it barely, because there's opened or closed. That's really the only statuses.
Yeah. All right. And there's an opening to the north.
Wait. What?
Like I can go up.
Oh, no, that's not supposed to be there.
That's supposed to be a wall.
Sorry.
That's supposed to be a wall.
I'll draw that wall really quick so you don't see that anymore.
And I can also go south.
No,
I'm not supposed to go north or south.
That's a wall as well. So
what did we tell you about hacking?
No.
Okay, now you can't go those directions, correct?
No.
Okay. I also realized that I did not create a wall down here, so you guys can just meander off the map if you would like to go.
Anywhere we can see with the light, yeah.
Maz becomes one with the wall and lives there forever.
Maz takes
in cozy comfort,
stone shape, and is now a part of the wall.
So, all right, Hilo, let's go tell the party. And walks up and then, shares what she found with the rest of the party. And, asks, which way should we proceed?
Well, if we don't want to approach the people in the storeroom, if we go through the locked door, we can presumably lock it behind us, giving us some sort of a barrier between us and these other people. But we don't know what's on the other side of the second door. And we can't all fit in there, obviously.
No, we definitely cannot.
And it does seem sort of a way to funnel people through the...
Do you not have vision?
Security checkpoint?
What's going on? Hilo, I don't see.
I also...
I can go into the door, but it doesn't actually illuminate the room.
I mean, the room is very small. Like, once you are past the door, that's it.
So, but it's like, what, 3 of us at once?
Probably not more than 2.
Yeah, two would be it.
Some of us are very small.
To close the one door before you can open the other door?
We haven't tested that yet.
Yeah, we haven't.
We should definitely be sure to check for traps before we do any unlocking.
Does anybody have strong feelings about what we do here? We have people to the north, at least one lockable door to the east.
I just feel like if there's going to be something important, it's more likely to be behind this series of doors rather than in an open storeroom. Like the things that we're looking to find. I agree, though, that we have to be careful because these people might come from behind us. So if we're worried about that, we can dispatch them quickly.
Shocker, Svetlana. Shocker.
Yeah, just let me know. I can go in there, just swing my axe around and come back.
Well, I mean, Yriel would like more information. So I don't know if we should go back to the north, try to see if we can tell if these are also, members of the Jagged Knife.
That's correct.
Is that right?
You got it?
Jagged something? Okay. Yes, Jagged Knife and Daggerheart is causing me a bit of confusion. That's what my instinct is to do, is to go on. that way to see if those are enemies, if that's a threat, if those are survivors taking shelter. My experience with prisons is that they do have offsetting security doors. So to me, that looks like the entrance to the prison. So, like, they to make sure that nobody from the prison side can escape, the person enters the main door, and then it seals, and then the secondary door is opened.
Well, I think that is fine. We can go north and check out these potentially guards, potentially Jagged Knife people in the storeroom. I will follow your direction, Yriel. I trust you.
Ooh. Is sneaky. Are we all sneaking together?
I'm not sneaky.
Hilo sneaks nowhere.
Nor am I.
I have a different strategy. We could send
I'm a
Hilo
little
in there to see if he can kind of like do his Hilo thing and sort of be disarming and throw people off, and then see what he can learn.
Hilo kind of shrugs and nods, like, okay, that would work.
I'm looking at Michael's face right now.
Are there any guard uniforms around that don't have massive holes in that previous room?
Like in the armory? Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wait. Actually, hold on a minute. I could maybe use magically shift my appearance and clothing to look like a guard.
Yeah, it seems like it would work.
Using my adjust appearance skill.
You could also put guards' clothes on.
Yeah, but those all might have holes and stuff. I don't want to deal with that. So
we did do that before, and it didn't really work out well for us.
Yeah,
I mean, it worked well for just a moment.
It worked about as well as the loosely closed manacles.
we always come up with these great plans that just don't quite work out, and that's okay.
Yeah. You're always a roll away from disaster. Wah, wah.
Can you just describe to me what you're going to look like?
So yeah, he's basically got on kind of a worn, nondescript guard cloak with covering over his clothing now, and he's just kind of got a little. He's standing a little straighter, a little more at attention, trying to project an air of guardiness, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
As he his hat, which is flamboyant and wonderful, normally kind of is now a rather boring looking helmet.
Okay.
And it kind of covers his features a little bit, so it might take them a minute to realize that he's a clank.
Okay. When you say a guard cloak, are you picturing something like what was underneath the armor that the previous enemies you ran into were wearing?
Right. There's no armor visible. It's just what would be the not off-duty wear, but more of not of a line guard, but someone who's running errands for the guards.
Oh, okay.
And then I guess I'm going to walk back the other way.
Okay.
Yep. Yriel is going to follow a little distance behind, close enough to get there if there's trouble, and also a bit concerned about said trouble. Spend 3 hope in order to increase evasion by 1.
Okay. Perfect. And are either of you sneaking?
Oh no, I'm just walking down the hallway.
Okay.
I belong here. This is part of my
I would
facade.
sneak.
Okay.
But I'm hoping to stay far enough back that it's not,
Just to be sure, roll a finesse roll again for me, Yriel.
Okay.
And then nothing you need to roll, Hilo, to approach.
Maz works her way towards the eastern door. Closing. Can I close this door again? Yeah, closing that door. And it remains unlocked but closed.
Got it.
And then she goes off towards the bench, sort of ready to, jump up should somebody come through that door.
Okay.
That was a 10 with fear on my stealth roll this time.
Okay. Good to know.
Good thing I'm not very close.
Good to know. Hilo, are you walking in the storeroom?
That's the storeroom. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the whole idea is walk in and greet whoever is there.
So you walk in, and I'm going to, just for story's sake, position people in a little bit more logical of a place. So you walk in and you see a bunch of people who are busy with things. You know, you got a person maybe working on the boiler, you got a person going through some supplies. One person looks like there's a target in the storeroom, so it's attacking a target for some reason. One person seems to be playing what looks like a game of some type of cards on the table. You can tell by the way this person is dressed that they are probably above the other people. They are dressed nicer. Like the colors are brighter. The armor is newer. Those sorts of things. Everybody else kind of looks like the typical guards that you've encountered so far. Sorry, to be clear, when I say they are dressed the same as the typical guards, but you do not know whether or not they are Jagged Knife or not from looking at them.
And I see what, 4 or 5 of them so far?
There are 5 of them, yeah.
Okay.
So they're kind of all spread out across the room. They don't notice you.
They don't notice me walking in? Okay.
Not yet. I mean, they're all kind of wrapped up in their things, you know?
And there's some bread on that one thing there on that table.
On the table, yeah. There's some bread, and like this is like the supplies before they go out to the table in the guards' quarters. Yeah, tend to be in here.
Hilo walks right over to the table and picks up, salutes the person who seems to be in charge, and picks up a piece of bread and turns to walk away.
Person flips over another card, looks up. Hey, it's not time for food.
Hilo turns back and says, Bob got a nosh on.
Sorry, was that but I've got a nosh on or Bob?
Bob's got a nosh on.
Bob's got a nosh on. Okay.
And he motions towards the way they came.
Okay.
Like it's not for him, obviously. It's for Bob.
You know, Bob Shishka.
Bob Shishka.
Oh my god. And the head guard narrows her eyes. What I want you to picture is kind of a daemon. So a big, intimidating figure. Some horns that are kind of like they grow out and then immediately stop in the back. She has dark purple skin, and she looks up at you, narrows her eyes, and then a smile breaks across her face. Bob, always wanting food. And flips another card over.
And Hilo continues on his way. I'm not sure exactly what he's supposed to be doing, other than he got the information I think we were looking for, and wanders back out.
Yriel sees Hilo approaching, motions him to come closer. What'd you find?
He hands her the bread.
Excellent.
And
I prefer taters. Go back and check. No, I'm kidding.
Hilo kind of lowers his voice. There's 5 guards in there, including someone in charge who is a daemon. Do we know if there was a daemon guard captain person? He just didn't know if guard captain is the right way to describe it, because we don't know anything about any of these people.
Mm-hmm. Just to be clear, you're asking Yriel, not me, right?
Correct.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yriel doesn't remember having received any information about the actual guards who should be on duty in the dungeon.
You'd like to roll to
did
try
receive
to recall
information?
If you'd like to roll a knowledge check to see if you can recall.
Sure. Okay. That's a 3 with hope. Not a lot of hope.
You don't even remember what Hilo just asked you.
Yeah.
That's fair.
No, you don't remember.
So was Hilo able to determine if they are Jagged Knife? That was what I thought we were going for.
That's what I was going there to do, and then I forgot to actually look. So Hilo literally like goes, oh. He's like, how long would it take us to walk over to the thing? Give me a minute. I'll go back. Oh wait, here, give me the bread. He takes the bread back.
Okay. Yriel dusts the crumbs off her hands.
And he waits long enough so that he could have had time to walk back to where one of the guards were standing for us.
Mm-hmm.
And then the time to walk back, instead of actually walking there and back, he's just like counting in his head how long it takes. And then he goes back in.
Okay. Easy enough to do.
This time, Yriel and Pazu are going to move closer. If it seems like they're all distracted, the people in the storage room, could Yriel and Pazu sneak past the door and see if there's anything beyond it on this north?
You definitely can try.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll for finesse to try to get by the door without being noticed.
Okay, well, it's a 22 with fear.
Holy cannoli.
Hmm.
Gone are the bad rolls.
You get the sense that every step that you take, every move that you make, sorry.
Heyo.
I'm sorry. As soon as I said it, I was like, crap, I'm in this one. No, you get the sense that every step that you are taking is the exact right place to put your feet to get you past this entryway. It's hard to call it a door when there's no door, but this entryway unnoticed.
Okay, Yriel and Pazu continue stealthily, skulkily, even moving.
I love a good skulk.
Having a bit of a skulk up the northern pathway to see if there's anything else up here.
Okay, while you were doing that, Hilo, you are walking back to the table with the piece of bread that you just left with. The head guard raises her eyes up to you again.
Hilo sets down the roll that he picked up and grabs the croissant and rolls his eyes and goes, can you believe I got the wrong one? And while he's doing this, he's actually examining this person as closely as he can.
Based on the dice roll that I just got, the head guard can absolutely believe that you got the wrong one and that there's nothing else going on.
Nothing suspicious.
I just got a natural one on the attempt to see through your little facade.
So Hilo's going to try to perceive and peer at this nice guardsman to see if he can see any of the telltale signs of Jagged Knife people.
Okay. Go ahead and make a instinct roll for that.
That is a 15 with fear.
There are no obvious signs that you can see that this head guard or anybody else around is... You can't tell. What you do, however, do, because you rolled with fear, is suddenly the head guard is paying a little bit more attention to you. She goes, hey, do I know you?
Hilo says, salutes again, very sharply, and says, honestly, I don't think we've had the pleasure.
I thought I knew everybody who was working with us. And hearing these words, guards turn around and stop what they're doing to pay a little attention to you. While that's happening, though, we're going to quick cut over to Yriel, who is at the northern passageway. What'd you find, Yriel?
Yriel found a door.
Okay.
Yriel is pretty good with spatial awareness and is thinking to herself, we went out to the west, went south after our rest, of course, went south some more through the armory and then to the east
Mm-hmm.
Now I've just come north again? Is this the same door that Toko came through?
It does look familiar.
Suspiciously, Toko was missing.
Unfortunately,
Again.
Toko cannot weigh in at the moment due to...
He's not by her anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But you do recognize, from opening the door for Toko, you recognize the hallway that you're standing in.
Okay. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
what I am recalling is that Toko said there was nothing out here but dust. And I'm a little suspicious now of Toko's sudden appearance from a hallway where he would have had to pass all those people in the storeroom.
Okay.
Make my way. Oh, well, while I'm here, I'm just gonna pop in, unlock the door, pop in, grab that do not enter mat, stick it in my nomad pack, take it with me in case I need that later.
Amazing. Door is open. Toko, while you were away, Yriel noticed that this hallway that is to the north leads to the same door where they let you into the room, and was wondering
what up with that?
The situation of where you came from and what you had seen.
So, sorry, what's the question?
This northern hallway up here, you don't need to go this way, but if you go all the way up, this is the door that they let you in through. So basically,
when they first captured me.
When you came back at the beginning of this session, when you knocked on the door, this is the door that you knocked on. So what they are wondering is what kind of passageway or tunnel or things like that. Like, how did you get to that doorway without being seen?
Okay, because that passageway is right past the open storeroom with a bunch of guards in it.
Can you roll, Yriel, for instinct for me while you were thinking about this? Because technically, you have to go back down and ask Toko these questions. But
GM,
yes,
what if instead I approach Toko?
Okay.
And maybe more of a try to charm and or deceive Toko, explaining that I went on past the storeroom stealthily, skulkily, and approached the door there and didn't see anything of interest, but maybe Toko had more time to think about what he was doing earlier and wants to elaborate on how he came to be outside that door.
Okay. So you're going to move all the way back down and ask Toko these questions? Okay.
Yes. Charmingly. Obviously.
Which should be easy to do now that everyone's looking at me instead of the door.
Right. So while Yriel is moving back down, we cut back to Hilo in a jam. No, we cut back to Hilo.
I haven't done the jam yet. I just got a croissant.
I was trying to make a bread joke, so I'm glad you went along with it.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah. So Hilo is currently gotten the attention of the head guard, and she's wondering, why don't I know you? Don't I know everyone who works with us?
And Hilo, of course, is going to just continue with his facade and attempt to reassure him. While we haven't met necessarily, I'm sure I would remember.
Mm-hmm.
We both know the guard captain whose name, I'm sure he remembers. And that he's been here for at least a 10-day or two, almost now. And with his best winning smile, to He tries to also apply his friends with all skill.
Okay. So you're
to try to reassure this captain, whose name he does not know yet, that he is totally supposed to be here.
Okay. So you're attempting to deceive and add your friend to all to your roll. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and make a presence roll for that.
Oh, no.
Is that good?
That doesn't sound good.
That is a 3 with fear.
Oh,
Jesus.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry, a 5, because I forgot to add my... Oh, no, 5, 7 for the charm and the experience.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a 1 and a 2 for those of you keeping track at home.
Amazing.
Okay. Well, that she pushes herself up, and as she stands up, you can see that she's big. She is a tall woman and very muscular, and she's not buying it. She does not fall for your charms, and with a simple nod of her head, the guards begin to close in a little bit further.
Hilo so far doesn't seem very ruffled by this, but like he expects some kind of discipline because he did something wrong and he's not sure what. He's trying to look a little confused, like, I'm not sure what's going on here. Not frightened, just like confused.
Okay.
And he holds out the croissant to the one guard behind him and says, could you at least get this to Bob so I don't get in trouble with him too? Still trying to deceive, that he's here for a reason. He has something he needs to do and this has to get done. Holding up his story.
The head guard looks at you and, how do you know Bob? What do you know about him? You've been here a while, right? You're running errands for him. Surely you've learned a few things about Bob in your time.
He raises an eyebrow slightly and is like, I don't get to talk much while I'm on duty, sir. I just run errands.
But Bob's a talkative sort, right? Bob likes to... Let's be honest. None of us really like Bob. Right?
I got some news for you.
Hilo kind of like looks a little confused. Is like, well, he didn't like the role. That's kind of rude.
Bob is rude, isn't he? Tell you what. Go get Bob for me. And when Bob vouches for you, call this no hard feelings, but next time you take a job somewhere, why don't you introduce yourselves to the people in charge?
He salutes again, this time with a croissant in his hand because he's a little discombobulated. Yeah. and says, yes, sir. Oh, Hilo, sir, and holds out the other hand without the croissant in it, saying, well, I'll greet you now.
She holds her hand out. She introduces herself. Her name is Orchid.
Orchid.
But she lets you know her name. It says, but I like these terms of respect.
Of course, sir. And he turns and starts to walk out of the room, being careful to not run into anybody or, accidentally stab them with anything.
Okay.
Very quickly. So that when he gets down to the group, you get the impression, if he needed to, his breath is coming hard in his simulated response of like fear and anxiety that he managed to keep in check until he got down the hallway.
Okay.
I think we have very little time before people come this way.
Yriel, unflapped, is, so Toko, coaxingly, tell us more about how you ended up there outside the door.
Well, turns out that guards don't notice much if you're quick on your feet and you know how to keep out of sight. By the time they thought to look, I was already 2 steps ahead. And they were none the wiser.
But you
So
didn't
kind of-
think. You didn't think to tell us that there were guards on the other side of that door? You said it was only dust.
That was the other door?
No, it was the same door.
I'm not very good at, I didn't explore the whole dungeon, okay? I don't know everything there is to know about every dungeon. Come on, guys. He's starting to get a little bit jumpy now. He's feeling a bit, what do you expect from me? I've got a knack for staying quiet when I need to.
Not this kind of monkey business.
Have you been waiting?
No, but I saw an opening and I took it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Proud of you.
Do we believe him?
Why don't you make an instinct roll and I'll let you know.
That is a 6 and a 5. So 11 plus 1, 12.
Kind of.
Oh, with hope, sorry.
You look closer.
Do I need to roll anything? Or
No. He doesn't look like he's hiding anything. You could see a world where someone on the run might not stop to see what was in every room behind every door. That's about as far as you know. You hear the sound from the north of guards moving. You hear their heavy armor start to. It's almost as if people might be moving towards you.
Yriel's willing to keep a wary eye on Toko for now, in the interest of seeing what came of Hilo's expedition. Did Hilo relate this to us?
So Hilo quickly relates that he didn't actually see any signs of the knife people on his rather quick perusal, but they expect him to bring back Bob, who we probably killed, to vouch for me. Otherwise, they're going to come after me.
We have someone who can make themselves look like Bob.
Hilo didn't think of that at the time, but looks over at Bogha now. Now, the problem is we didn't actually get any of their names, so we'll have to pick a random guard.
True.
to copy his look of. But if it helps, Bogha and I can go back towards the guard area and come back together that way.
How many guards are there?
5, including the captain.
I don't think you should go there alone. I think we should press forward or prepare to fight. At that point, you'll be far outnumbered, and you two will not be able to fend them off on your own if something goes wrong.
Hilo smiles. What could possibly have gone wrong?
Oh, Hilo.
I don't go the other way. Can we go through the other door?
I'm willing, but Yriel will go down there and check, see if the key works on the secondary door.
Maz follows over to Yriel, looking back towards everybody, and then kind of motioning in this direction.
So it's why don't you wait there, Maz? I will see if the door can be unlocked. If so, encourage everybody to come this way. Otherwise, at least we have somebody ready for what comes next there.
Yes, the first door is already unlocked. The second door I did not try.
Also,
the second door is locked.
Croissant. Hilo hands the croissant to Bogha just in case. You'll need this.
just in case. Okay.
Bogha
So
looks down at the croissant and was just like, Huh? Bewildered.
Bob
Once
asked
more.
Bob asked for it.
Who's Bob?
Yriel is at the secondary door of the security checkpoint.
Okay.
And has her key that has worked on all the other doors. Does it work on this one?
No.
Sticks it in, gives it a twist.
Does not
No?
even fit into the lock.
No.
Okay, Yriel trots right back over to Maz. My key doesn't work.
Ah, Maz face palms. All right. What should we do?
Do you want to try your key?
Oh, right. I do have a key. Okay. Maz fishes it out of her pocket, and then walks over past Yriel, slides the key in gently, and tries to quietly turn the key in the door quietly and gently.
Give me a finesse roll.
Well, that's not good.
Oh, dear.
It's definitely a 7 with fear.
Okay, can you roll a d6 for me?
Oh,
This sounds worse, not better. Do I have to? Like, is it good or bad if it's high?
What'd you get?
6?
So you got a 13 with fear? Is that the total? It was 7?
Yeah, because it was an 8, but I have -1 finesse because obviously I have none.
Okay. You do not successfully unlock the second door.
Oh.
So
But
given
the key fit.
The key fit, but the door did not unlock.
Could somebody with more finesse try it? That's like a meta question, or not me asking.
I think you're gonna have to figure out another solution at the moment,
Okay. All right.
rather than just going through each person until someone unlocks the door. That
Okay.
doesn't really seem
Yeah.
to.
my guess is that the head guard is going to have the key.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Yriel, and I kind of communicate what happened.
Or the door has to be the secondary door has to be closed and locked so you can open the other one, which is the purpose of a...
Yriel slaps her head because she was just talking about that earlier and forgot.
That's what someone was saying a few minutes
That was
ago.
that 3 memory, yeah. Maz, did you try closing the first door before unlocking the secondary door?
Definitely not.
Get back in there.
Yes, Yriel. Yep. All right. Let's do this again. Let's do it again. We're doing it again, apparently. All right, Maz.
Doing it live.
Okay.
Doing it. Oh. All right. Closes the door.
Okay.
Oh, this is not gonna go well. I know it's not gonna go well. Okay, Maz puts the key back in, and yep. Everything's fine. And Maz puts the key in and tries to turn it gently again.
Okay. Finesse roll.
I feel like if it didn't work, you could have skipped all that.
All right. Well, at least this went better. 21 with hope.
Door clicks open.
Okay. All right.
I was sitting here weighing, like, do they need to lock the first door for the airlock situation? Technically, yes. But do I really get that picky? Okay, door unlocks.
Okay, could we tell from this side of the door that the door unlocked?
You have no idea.
Shit.
So, Maz, we're out here twiddling our thumbs, and
All right. Hold on. Wait. So,
You
so this door's
hear
unlocked.
More movement from the storeroom as the sounds of footsteps. At this point, it has been longer than would be expected to go retrieve Bob.
Okay. Is this door now locked?
Yes. We'll say yes. We'll say this door is now locked.
magical airlock. Yriel is going to call to some of our more vulnerable party members to maybe group up back here away from the
All right.
hall.
Maz is just apparently gonna slowly open the door stealthily.
What Bogha said? Bogha was going to say they were doing something. What was that, Bogha?
I was. I was gonna run, try get past this corridor, and back into the rooms we were in before, so I can find some guard's outfit that I could
Interesting.
slip into.
Okay. I mean,
Just illusion yourself into it is probably better than trying to wear one that won't fit. Because you're trying to be a Bob. You're trying to be one of the guards. One of the ones we killed. There's bodies back
do
there.
Bogha's illusions.
Yeah, just do an illusion for
walk
it.
and talk.
I mean, Bogha has uncanny disguise. So
yeah, Bogha has shapeshifty, disguisey stuff.
Bogha does.
So I would say your Marcus Truss, if you're using that, but you do have the ability to don the facade of any humanoid you can picture clearly. So if you need to duck back and get an image of Bob, you can do that. But if you remember Bob from when he was pinned to a door, seems pretty memorable, then you don't have to duck back if you don't want to.
Didn't know his name, so Bogha does not know who she's looking for. She's just gonna pick a random guard.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do me a favor, and do you have a D20?
I do.
Roll a D20.
That is a 6.
Oh.
Okay. You, to your best of your ability, you believe that you are disguised as Bob.
To the best of your ability.
Totally reassuring.
I hear that a lot.
I feel much better. Oh,
this is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a cunning plan.
Okay.
All right. So rather than continuing up the hallway, Hilo motions the now guard-looking Bogha to stand here, like next to us, like next to here. Next to me, on the other side of the door. Yep, right there.
Yeah.
Right. So you can see down the hallway when they're coming, and they can clearly see you well in advance before.
So just right in the middle. Yeah.
Yep, just right in the middle there. And then
Bogha's just gonna yell,
"Where's my croissant?"
How long does it take to get a croissant?
And
you imbecile.
And Hilo kind of shrugs apologetically and just hands it over, like hoping that these people, like not looking that way, but hoping they are seeing this exchange here.
Okay.
And then
so it's a little bit of theater.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then motions back towards the way they came, not up the hallway.
Okay.
But is like kind of shrugging helplessly.
Okay, so these two guards.
I looked up the hallway.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm like, what are you looking at? Who are you motioning to?
Okay. These two guards stop at the end, kind of the entrance to this door, and they're looking at you, and they hear all of this. If you, Bogha, could give me a presence roll with advantage, please.
Goodness.
And which one? What's it with advantage again? For those of us who don't remember.
Roll a d6 and then add it.
There we go. Thank you.
I was going to let you give Bogha advantage, Hilo, but Bogha already has advantage, so.
That's fine.
So that's 6 with hope plus 2. It's 8.
The guards go, that's not Bob. And the head guard hears this, and you hear lots of movement as the pace of moving towards you increases.
And Hilo goes, wait, you're not Bob? No, he doesn't actually.
I was going to give you an opportunity to roll for that one if you wanted it.
No.
Hilo throws Bogha right under the bus.
Hilo wouldn't actually do that. No, instead he goes, so can you take this to Bob? He's waiting. And then have him come down right away. The captain wants to speak with him.
Why you to do your work? You go do it yourself.
Wants Bob. The captain wants Bob. I can go get him.
Well, why don't you tell Croissant while you're doing it? You go now anyway.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll do that. And then he starts walking like through this hallway.
Okay.
Hoping that Bogha gets the hint to come with him and change his shape again.
This is the most incredible plan I've ever experienced. It's so good.
Trying to take the notes on this is insane.
This is just nobody's let Maz out of the little airlock. Like we got.
Well, I was gonna try to open the door.
Oh
yeah, I thought we cut to Maz opening the door on the secondary door.
You open.
I said gently and quietly.
You open the door. Okay, fine. I don't have a gently and quietly button on Roll20.
I'm just making sure you know.
Settle down. Okay, fine. You want me to know? Roll for finesse to open it gently and quietly.
Shit. For finesse, it's a actually, hold on. What do I got here? Oh, I don't like this at all. I'm like, should I? Whatever. It's a 9 with fear. No, 9 with hope. I'm sorry, 9 with hope.
Okay, well, congrats. You take a hope.
Yeah.
You open the door, and immediately you are struck by one of the worst smells that you've ever experienced in your life. It is a combination of bodily functions of all shapes and sizes. I don't know how you smell the shapes and sizes. That doesn't make any sense. But bodily functions of all types, a coppery smell. There's something that is distinctly animal that you smell. It is a bad enough smell that you probably take a moment to consider pushing forward on your own. It's up to you. It's bad. It's very bad. Whatever has happened here, your brain flashes back to Toko saying that there is something unnatural.
All right, Maz, taking that, smell and knows that immediately something is off here, and this is not a place where she wants to go alone. Travels back into the little, secure hold, closes that door.
Okay.
And then I guess I'd have to try to lock it with the key again.
You have, at this point, used your skeleton key on both of these doors. So
I can just do it.
Rather than make you roll to keep doing it, that just seems goofy.
Okay. So then I'll lock this door.
Okay.
And then go to unlock the other door and open it up.
I unlocked it, so you should be able to open it, I think. I think you can just click on it and choose open.
Oh, there we go. Got it. All right. And then Maz walks back out into the corridor.
And as that is happening, the guards move ever closer.
Can I hear that?
Fine. Maz, Yriel.
Hilo is waving to Bogha to come this way. What? Now that he's on the other side of the door.
Maz says to Yriel that I encountered a foul stench that I have never encountered in my life, that I don't know exactly what's on the other side of that door, but there were no people there in the immediate vicinity, so we can go over there a couple at a time if we can try to get through these doors as quickly as possible.
I don't know that we will have time to get everybody through before the guards get here.
What guards?
Oh, by the way,
you can hear them, and you hear them as the topic comes up. But Yriel is welcome to explain as well.
Yep.
Okay, so Yriel fills me.
Yriel says, "Oh, by the way, Hilo went."
Yeah.
Shenanigans were had. Guards were unfooled.
Then Yriel, I feel we should retreat to the previous room immediately, where perhaps we'll have a better chance of, fighting.
No, don't cross. They'll see you. Oh no.
Compared to
Hilo's standing at the other side, waving his arms frantically.
So I'll
go this way.
Maz walks up, and then eventually.
So just want to clarify the gestures that Hilo is doing. Hilo is signaling Bogha to exit that passageway and simultaneously telling everyone else to get back. just like
a hand that's low coming, like saying, "Come this way," like an underhand dog paddle, and then they stop for everyone else who's tall, way above their head. Yes.
Okay, I like that. And Bogha is still disguised as not Bob, so
right.
Okay, so
noted it down.
All right, so Maz backs off slightly next to Toko.
Okay, now the group is divided. Is Bogha moving, staying, frozen in place?
Eating a croissant?
Bogha's going to yell to the guards.
Oh.
Whatever this idiot's done, I'll sort it myself.
Oh.
You go back to your duties.
It's got moxie. Let's do it.
Okay. What is your spellcast rates? +2?
Yes, +2.
Okay. Go ahead and roll presence for me to attempt to convince the guards to turn around. This is going to get real interesting.
So that is going to be a 15 with fear.
Okay, roll the d6 as well, because you still have advantage on presence rolls. I forgot. Sorry.
4.
So 19 with fear. So you Bogha for the first time, and all of you are in a line on either side of Bogha watching this at this point, and you all like see some fierceness in Bogha that so far maybe hasn't been evident. Bogha's been pretty quiet, pretty reserved, but as this character, Bogha is like, you can hear all of the guards marching in a line down this hallway come to a stop so quickly at Bogha's words that they bump into each other, and you hear the armor. You hear them bump into each other. I don't know. Okay, so let me break the immersion of the game for just a moment, because here's what I want to say. So when Bogha casts Uncanny Disguise, Bogha places tokens on the Uncanny Disguise card equal to their spellcast trait. When you take an action while disguised, you use one of those tokens, and when the last token resolves, the disguise drops. So theoretically, you go, "Stop, I'll take care of this." Boom, you're a frog again.
I love this, and it's awesome.
Oh my god.
I don't.
It's happening.
Okay, we're okay. I don't want it to be like I'm overriding your desires as a player, but that would be very interesting if it happened. So, what are your thoughts on that, Bogha? Is that like
Should be part of the course with this spell? It's not worked once in this dungeon.
Because my thought was the first action was, "Hey, I'm Bob, look at," or whatever the first thing was, and that one failed, so they started moving, and then the second action was the stop, which worked until frog. So if it doesn't feel like I am overriding you, then I think that's what happens based on the spell.
Would be
yeah.
So it's not like,
What'd you say?
Bogha would be aware that the spell would drop, so wouldn't she like be like, "I'll take care of this," and like duck out immediately? Like, I feel like she would know better than to just let it drop.
That's
in
fair.
the middle.
See, this is why
Bogha's so excited in the moment and kind of forgets because of the heat of the moment and how dangerous it is, because Bogha's also not particularly confrontational, usually a little bit more skittish. Like I mean, I don't want to speak for Bogha, but like I feel like you could split it either way.
Yeah.
I think it depends on her character and what.
Yeah, let's turn this into a character moment for Bogha, because I think
let's learn about Bogha.
I think that's a good moment. So,
oh no,
Bogha, you have used this spell before. You know what happens after you take these actions, but maybe like Teacher said you don't remember it in the heat of the moment. So you tell us, are the guards suddenly staring? Like, did they just witness a magic trick as Not Bob turns into a ribbit? Or did you say that and then hide?
Oh, you just made me think of something there. Because Bogha seems to be a bit of a theatrical frog, don't she? When she's in a disguise.
Mm-hmm.
When the disguise drops, she looks around, panics, and says like, "Oh, what happened to me? I'm a frog."
Bogha is trying to double deceive them. This is amazing.
This is worth the whole thing with the croissant.
Give Bogha a prize. Give Bogha a prize.
Wow.
This
okay.
feels like a really good spot to like end
That's where we got to wrap up. That's where we're going to call it for today. Cause that.
Okay. Once again, we've hit RTMs. I didn't plan for this.
Oh my God. We hit that hours ago. The last, like, oh my God, you guys, this is nuts. Do you know, I had this session planned so you guys would finish the dungeon today. We are long past anything I expected.
Would you like 84 more instinct checks to go with that?
Maybe. Oh my goodness. That was this last like hour is it's the best thing we've done. It's so funny.
It is. It's excellent.
It's been really good.